I'm going to be hosting the program this evening. This is the Stunt Hangar video chat, Monday, August 10th. And here we're going to talk about aeromodeling, flying control line model airplanes, building them, competing, what you did in your shop, all kind of things like that. And let me turn my phone down here. And let's get the show going. Oh, by the way, there is going to be a super chat box down at the bottom, and you should be able to um, make some donations there. That'd be much appreciated. And right now, I think I have like a couple people in the live part of the program, so we'll get started. So let's see here. How's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Good. Good. Hang on a second. Yeah, I had internet problems earlier today, so I was just trying to see if I can speed up my connection. It was really bad. So let me know if my video or sound is bad, and I'll see if I can make adjustments to that. So what's been going on with you guys?
Got me a bag of chips and sauce. Dinner, you know. Been working on the shop area, or not shop, but where I'm at, the computer and radio room. Today I got just about everything hooked up inside. Now I got to finish the antenna up outside, and then I cook it up and be back on the air. And then I can start off my shop.
Let me see if I can fix this looping. I don't know. Hang on a second, John.
All right.
What is going on? What? Let me see here. Let me see if I can fix this looping. Hang on a second, John.
Something with YouTube.
Yes, that sounds like that.
Yeah. Let me mute this. Okay, I think I fixed that. Can you guys still hear me though?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Come on in. Just a second.
Hey, Ed,
Hey,
you get those files okay?
yeah.
Good.
I got a couple of questions for you. I mean, you can either answer them here, or I can send you a message on them. However you want to do it.
It's up to you.
Well, as a matter of fact, I got it pulled up here. The one thing I hadn't printed them out yet, but it doesn't say whether or not what the I got a couple of questions for you. Engine mounts are. You can either answer them here, or I can.
It doesn't call them out?
No. I didn't know if they were halves or 3/8 by half, or
Probably either half by half or 3/8 by half.
I'm assuming it would probably whatever size engine you're going to put into the spacing that you need. I can measure them once I get the once I get them printed out, but no. That and 3/8 by half. I'm hearing an echo. I'm hearing myself twice.
I'm working on it. Trying to figure out where it's coming from. But we're live on YouTube, so that's going well.
And once I get them printed out. Okay, your top and bottom nose sheeting goes back to the fuselage. I mean, goes back to the canopy or cockpit, and then are the
on YouTube, so that's
stringers exposed there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That sheeting is as stated. It goes over the top of the stringers.
Back to that point.
Yeah.
And then there's one here. It's called a TP1. It's the goes over the stab.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's just your stabilizer brace for the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie.
It goes over the top of the.
That's pretty much it.
You might have to.
I'm sitting here looking at it now, and it almost resembles the Tucker.
In some ways, the
stabilizer brace.
The inspiration for it was a French design called the Scepter.
Okay. I just noticed, the Tucker that Sparky was building had the open cockpit like that.
Yeah.
That's what it just doesn't have that nose cowl that the Tucker does.
In some ways,
and a different tail, but the open cockpit's what kind of reminded me of it.
Inspiration for it was a French. Not many modern stunners have open cockpits.
Yeah.
I like it myself.
Had the open cockpit like that. Yeah. That's what.
Does anybody? Hang on a second, Ed. I'm sorry to interrupt. Does anybody have to have YouTube on in the background just by chance? Can you check? Because I've checked on my end, and I can't see where the looping's coming from.
I don't have it open.
No, the only thing I got open is my phone and my flash drive.
Okay. All right. Well.
Sounds like it's gone.
Well, great.
Test. Hello.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Okay. You fixed it, Charles?
Scared it away.
So, Bill, I saw the video you posted of your stuntman and your buster. It looked like you're starting to get the inverted flight down.
Yeah. Not real smooth yet, but at least I can go around a few times without crashing.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, you can keep it from in between the ground and the sky. That's good.
Okay.
Now, does it tend to hunt more inverted than upright, Bill?
I didn't catch it. There was some echo.
Yeah, I know.
It's bad.
What I said was, does it tend to hunt when it's inverted compared to when it's upright?
Maybe let's each one of us try muting our microphone and see where this is coming from.
I think we're all going to have to learn sign language.
Okay. Test. I don't hear an echo right now.
Yeah, I didn't mute mine. Test.
I heard an echo.
All right, let me I'll mute my mic. Let's see what happens. You guys talk for a second.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's still.
Test.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a echo.
I don't hear it.
1, 2, 3.
Peter, try muting your mic. Okay, test 1, 2, 3. I don't
Test.
hear it now. Anyone else hear an echo?
1, 2, 3.
No, I didn't.
Test.
I didn't hear
Maybe it's coming
an
from
echo.
Peter's end.
Okay, Peter, you don't get to talk.
I don't hear an echo at all.
Yes.
Well, let me try this
Test.
question again to Bill. So, Bill, my question earlier was, when the plane is inverted, did it hunt more than when it was upright?
Does it hunt more?
Yeah, hunt is like when it goes up and
Yeah,
down.
I know what you mean. I don't think too bad.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's
It just seemed like after I had done, made a few laps, it was getting easier.
so you've flown inverted before. This is your first time.
I've done like half a lap before. And it seemed like when I first started it, I got dizzy kind of when I switched directions.
Okay, that's pretty normal to get dizzy going one way and to get used to it. But that's good. Congratulations. That's a some people never make it to flying inverted. They actually do loops and do all kind of things, but flying inverted is they're just too scared to do it. So congrats.
Me, I just said there was and tried it.
Stuntman with the electric motor. But I did that with my other electric too, not as much.
That's good. That's awesome.
I figure that you just have to learn little parts, before you really start doing the major parts of the pattern.
Right. But I think the one thing you're doing is flying inverted is really good because some people they will do the loops and square loops and triangles and figure eights and vertical eights, and then they'll think, well, let me try to go inverted, and they just never proceed beyond that.
Huh.
Yeah, because it's just I don't know. It's just
Easiest way I found to go inverted was do lazy eights.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stretch them out.
Just come in, loop around, come back around, and just sit there and make like more. What is it? The infinity sign.
yeah. That's how I learned to do it. But the guy that I'm teaching, we I as soon as he overcomes this challenge he has right now, I'm going to have him fly inverted before he even can loop, just to get it out of the way, and then do loops and other things out. Because I just find that I have other people I fly with, and some of them haven't done like Bill has done. They won't go inverted. They're just so scared. And I understand the fear. I mean, flying stunt is all about managing fear. It's even after you learn the pattern, then you go to you could be at a contest and it's windier than you've ever flown before, and you have to gather yourself and have the courage to put your plane up in harm's way. That happened to me about 3 or 4 years ago, or at the Golden State Sun Championship. It was so windy that the barricades were falling because of the wind, and and I was like, if it wasn't for the fact that I had spent money for the hotel, I took my wife and kids, so had to rent a van, and I had all these expenses, and I knew if I didn't fly, I would just kick myself all the way home. So I made myself fly, and I'm telling you, it was terrible. I was I don't know how to say it, but scared to death is how I felt. And then when I landed the plane, I said, that's it. I ain't going up ever again. because it was still crazy wind. And so then after that round was done and they finished the first round of expert everybody, then they start the second round. And I had people coming up to me going, "So you're gonna fly in you're gonna fly again?" And I was like, "Hell no, it's just too scary. It's too windy." And a good friend of mine, another John Wright, came up to me and he goes, "Charles, you really need to fly because if someone has a better score than they had in the first round, that can endanger your first place." So I thought it took all the courage that I had to fly the first round, but I went and I flew the second round and I ended up winning. And so when I came home, I was it was intermediate. When I was driving home, I was mostly excited about overcoming my fear, having to actually gather myself together to overcome uh, what I what I felt was this horrific fear, and I was more proud of that. So, anyways, getting back to flying stunt, every maneuver I have attempted, it has been like the first time
One, two, three, four.
and you're scared. I was scared to do the every maneuver,
Yeah.
and I think the scariest maneuver for me was the outside square. I just giving you a plane straight down, heading toward the deck. That was the scariest thing for me to do. And then after that, the hourglass was scary, and even the four-leaf clover was very scary. But now it's just now I'm just still having to deal with just managing fear in different scenarios, different environments.
And one big thing too is learning your plane and knowing when to pull out. If you've got a plane that won't come out, 5 feet off the deck, don't try to come 5 feet off the deck because you're going to plant the thing in the ground.
I really think in hindsight the reason why I did so well in that contest was mostly because my plane pulled out much later than I was anticipating. So I actually had low bottoms for a change, even though that wasn't my intention. But the wind was just pushing the plane down, and it just my pullouts were all. I don't remember exactly, so I don't want to exaggerate, but they were lower than I usually do, and so I think that's why I won.
Yeah, I've never flown contests, so I don't know, the pressure of that. But I fly all the maneuvers. I'll go out and say, I'm going to try this, try that, try that. I don't ever fly a pattern. I just fly because I go out to the field and I fly. I'm not flying competition, so I don't learn the pattern, but I know all the stunts in the pattern.
Oh, good.
And I practice them. I may do, practice my loops to get them, smooth and a consistent circle more than an oval or, a 5-foot circle or something like that where they're just flopping and flipping in the air. But yeah, I mean, I may fly 10 rounds inverted just to keep it, see how smooth I could keep it.
Right.
Then I get dizzy going that way, I'll flip it around and go the other way. Unwind,
Yeah, absolutely. But you
don't have to go out and try to fly the pattern. I don't even know the pattern sequence. I know all the maneuvers, but I don't know the sequence because I don't fly it. But like I say, it's it's like I know all the cuss words, but I don't use them.
One advantage of doing the pattern in the sanctioned order, and you can look it up on the AMA website, is that you will not have, at least in my opinion, you will eliminate the mental. I'm going to say mental farts. I can't think of another better word, but the mental mistakes. Because if you do the same thing every single time, I know it's maybe boring to some, but if you do the same thing, have a habit doing it the same way every single time, then most likely you won't have a crash due to indecision. And that's one of even if you're not competing, that is one of the advantages of doing the stunt pattern is you won't be indecisive because sometimes it happens. Now I'm more prone to crash my combat plane that I fly, which I've crashed a couple times, because I was indecisive. I was like, oh, I'm gonna pull out upright. Nope, I'm gonna pull out inverted. Up, I'm gonna pull up upright. I'm gonna pull up inverted. Next thing I know, bam.
Like, yeah, sometimes I make up maneuvers. I don't even know what they are. I just, make up something. I don't know.
Well, I watched that video of Paul Walker flying that B-17, and I was scared just watching that.
Yeah, I know, Bill, because I've flown a twin. It was a twin flight streak, John, as a matter of fact, and that plane pulled my arm off. It was unbelievable. I think it had two LA-25s or two FP-25s. I don't remember, but I do remember that plane was flying fast and it was pulling my arm off, and so I only can imagine what Ford engine is like.
Mikey.
The thing is, Charles, doesn't take a pair of 25s. Everybody wants to go up on engine side and get back to the point of uncontrollability where you can't finesse it. It flies perfect on a pair of 15s. People just don't believe it, but it does. And you go up higher, you get more line tension, and it starts to pull you. And now you can no longer finesse your maneuvers.
Yeah, I was at that point in time, I was in between planes, and the guy I was flying with, he brought that plane out, so I'd have something to fly. And he flew it once, and then he said, "Go ahead and fly it. You can fly it since you don't have anything to fly right now." And that's all I had to fly. But I just thought it was unbelievable as far as the tension on my arm, my shoulder, and I was like, "How does anybody enjoy flying a plane like this?" You know, 'cause I didn't enjoy it at all.
John, did you bring enough for everybody?
Nope. Well, wait, yeah, actually, you just reach right on through and get some.
Oh, very good.
You know, we could actually do that as a trick. If I put a chip just out of frame,
yeah,
and you handed one, I could come back with a chip. Oh, we should practice that. Don't tell anybody who's not here. But like the next time we do this, let's do that and freak out the other guys. Yeah,
I know a perfect candidate. Our good buddy Steve.
Yeah. And we'll just do it. Don't say anything. So Friday night, you get some chips, I'll get some chips, and we start doing that back and forth. Nobody say anything.
They got to be the same chips, though.
Well, okay, yeah, I saw they were tortilla chips. So what's everybody doing?
Well, I've been making progress on my mold buck. I actually put the slots for the formers.
Okay.
That jig I showed last Friday.
Awesome.
Thing worked awesome.
Well, we had a successful school day. Not to get off topic, but I told you what a crap show it was Friday.
Right.
We actually got both kids in their classrooms, and all the technology worked the way it was supposed to.
Awesome.
So I didn't have a crying 9-year-old because she wasn't in class. And now we just got to figure out. So they've gone to a completely paperless system. Everything's electronic. So they got a form you can fill everything out and then submit it. Or you can print it the old-fashioned way on a PDF, have them do it, and then scan it and send it in. Who wants to do all that? So anyway, they school system, they must have been working triple time this weekend to figure everything out because it was pretty smooth today. So happy about that.
Oh, that's great. That makes it great day.
Charles, I didn't get to the post office today because we were still.
No worries.
You know, these are the last 2 bags going out. All the props are gone.
Yeah, I appreciate that so much, Mike. Thank you so
done.
much.
I sold 440 of them.
Wow.
I kept 60 for myself.
Good for you.
Yeah. So, and one other thing I wanted to show you, Charles, just to make you drool a little bit.
All right, let me make you larger here. Hang on. Oh.
Facebook Marketplace, $20. Thunder Tiger Pro 36, $20.
That's a fantastic deal.
Wow.
And I tell you what, it's been run, but I can just barely turn it. It's so snappy, man. I mean, it's probably just broke in, and I don't need it, but for $20.
Oh yeah, no, exactly, yeah. For 20 bucks. I mean,
20 bucks, and I picked it up locally, so I didn't even have to pay shipping on it. It even had a muffler with it. So
yeah, I'm drooling. But you know what? I mean, it's like I'm like you. I have a lot of engines. I know people have more than me, but I have more than I need. And um, yeah, that's still a great find because I have a that same motor in one of my Olympics, and it works great.
I got one more thing to show you. SV11.
Oh, all right,
Empty.
fantastic.
Empty.
And it's empty because it's done.
Oh man, fantastic.
It's all done. I started it Saturday morning. I joined the wings and did the hinges and the flaps, and I did the elevator flaps or elevator hinges. And then yesterday I worked on the fuse, getting the pipe tunnel in it, motor mounts drilled, tank platform, cutting the pipe tunnel, beefing some things up in the nose. And then by the end of last night, I had the wing in the saddle and the stab on. And then today it was just a matter of putting the top block on the canopy on and putting the rudder on and then actually mounting the engine and the pipe and the landing gear. So 2.5 days is what I had in it. I think total probably about 16, 17 hours total assembly. But I will say this is probably one of the nicest ARFs I've ever put together, and it went together like a dream. And that the saddle for the wing and the elevator, boy, it just sits right in there, and everything was dead nuts. I mean, it was just completely level, set it in. The only thing I didn't like about it was the saddle for the wing and the canopy, very, very thin. I mean, like, literally like an 1/8 ply to seal that thing in there. So what I did was I sheeted the whole inside of the bottom of the saddle with 3/8
Okay.
or 3/16, made it flush all the way across. And I did the same thing on the canopy block. I sheeted that with 3/16 as well. And I beefed up the nose a little bit because it seemed a little soft up there in the nose and the tank compartment. So it came in at 65 ounces total.
Not bad.
Not bad, but I see a lot of guys are putting them together at like 61 or 62 ounces. So I was kind of shooting for that, but I knew I was going to be a little bit heavier because of all the reinforcements I did. But
that's hard to balance that reinforcements. It's hard to get that right.
so
That's pretty.
And the only thing about an ARF is they look like everybody else's.
Well, I know.
You know, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that unless you buy an ARC or something and cover it yourself. But
Where's that at? There. I even left myself a note so I don't forget.
I've done that. I've
When
done
I
the
go
same
fly.
exact thing. Yes, you got to do that
But
because
here's
you're always so excited to fly the plane.
does it come with a weight box?
That's how I
Very
did
nice.
pipe tunnel and all that. PA up front.
Very nice. Wow.
And I didn't have a blue spinner. I only had a red one. So
So you gonna put muffler pressure on that or not?
no, just gonna run it on the. It's a Brodak Magnum Uniflow tank in there.
You got a bladder on it.
Yeah, I got a bladder on it. I mean, I pretty much use stock everything. I didn't
That's
even.
funny.
I didn't swap out
You
anything.
didn't mean to agree to that, right, Mike?
You know, I wonder how a PA would run on a bladder. I might try that sometime.
Hey, you might have something. You never know.
So
Remember the lady PA, Mike, it's a racing engine, a speed engine.
yeah.
Very nice, Mike. Great job.
So see what you can do when you're properly motivated. Your wife gives you the weekend off.
That is awesome, man. I can't wait.
I should put my wife's name on it. I should name it the Lisa because she pretty much left me alone for 2 days so I could get it done.
That would be Miss Lisa.
Yeah, Miss Lisa. Yeah.
Maybe that's why there's so many planes named like Miss this, Miss that. I see a lot of planes like that. Maybe it's our way of paying homage to our wives, huh?
Yeah. I wish Denny was on here, Dennis, because I'd like to tell him, and I will when I see him. I can't say enough about how easy this thing went together. You know, Randy Smith was really involved in making these ARFs with Brodax, and Dennis was too. And man, the assembly instructions are garbage. You can't look at them because the instructions I had were for the first version of this ARF that had wing mounted landing gear. So that was all wrong. The control system was different too because they upgraded the control system on the second generation. But I'm seriously thinking about picking up 2 more of these and just putting them on the shelf for Sam for later. Because if they become unavailable, who knows what's happening with Brodax? There might not be any more of these, you know. So this could be. Now that I know I can build one in 2.5 days, I think I want to put a couple back for Samuel, you know.
Oh, yeah. That's
in a pinch, you get in a pinch when you need an airplane and you're a couple weeks out, you can throw one together super quick, you know. So
What's the engine size on that? Not yours, but what's the range?
Oh, the range. Well, I know a PA 40 would fly it. I don't think a regular 40 would fly. I think it's 51 to 75 is what they recommend. I don't think it says on the side. And my guess is the instructions won't say an engine size either because, like I said, they're pretty bad. But I built. Say again, John?
Say it looks impressive for an ARF.
Yeah, well, it looks like everybody else's, except, you know, you got a blue one, a yellow one, or a red one. That's
Yeah.
you know.
How were the lead outs on it? Now, did you have to do anything with the control system?
I didn't touch them because Randy said, you know, in this second generation, they upgraded all that stuff. It is a nylon bell crank in there, but it's a 4-inch bell crank, and it's sleeved. You know, it's sleeved with copper tubing, and the swedges on the eyelets at the tip, they look really good. Not the typical Brodax stuff that I've seen before, because I've had like a Pathfinder ARF and a Super Clown and all that, and the crimp they put on them were just awful on those things. It was the first thing I always did was change the control system out. But I even used the ball joints and push rod and everything that was inside. Now I CA'd the heck out of them, and I used JB weld on them and all that stuff just to beef them up. And that's probably where I gained a little bit of weight too, because I got 3 ball joints in there that probably each have a, you know, dime-sized glob of JB weld on them. But I wanted to make sure they weren't coming apart, you know. But it was pretty straightforward. It was pretty straightforward and easy to build, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think it'll be good.
If you put all that JB weld out there, tip, you wouldn't have to have a note about tip weight.
Yeah, right.
I have a comment from Jeff Riley. He says, watch that tail wheel, Mike. It's right on the edge.
Oh! Thanks, Jeff. All right.
I didn't know what he was talking about until you said, whoa!
There's like 4 millimeters there before it falls off, at least. So, Bill, I wanted to tell you, I watched your video. And I was going to make a suggestion, but after I watched it for a minute, you figured it out. I was going to tell you, never go inside when you're inverted. Always go outside. And after you did that one time, the next time you went outside, always go outside. Never go inside unless you're super, 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 super hot, especially when you're learning. Always just hit the panic button. That's what Will Davis says. You know, well, you're righty, but you got your thumb up there. That's the panic button. Hit the panic button. Push the panic button down. And the other thing I would say too is I know you're still learning inverted, so you got your handle sideways like this. But as you get better at it, start rotating your hand around like that. Don't be one of them guys that look like this, man. Don't be that guy. Start rotating your hand around. Right, John?
You betcha.
Yeah. Okay.
Upright hand, straight up and down, upright and inverted.
Yeah, me too. And the Buster's looking really good too, Bill.
Yeah.
I think that 10.5 prop made a big difference. I wouldn't go back to that 11.4 just yet.
Okay.
Maybe when it's broke in a little better, but it's definitely running better on the 10.5. It's not sagging and leaning out on you. So I'd stick with that for a while.
All right.
When you get real good, you can fly with your handle upside down, right, Mike?
Sam can. He did
I
it.
know.
You know, speaking of that, I know of a guy who would take off and he'd go inverted and he'd flip his handle over upside down with his left and then grab it with his right, fly it, you know, inverted. So up was up again. And then we went out, come out, and he would twist it again and with his left and grab it.
I've seen that handle that does it
All
for
right,
you.
you want to hear the craziest handle story ever? And you guys are going to think I'm lying about this and making this up. But Steve Stewart and his brother, they're Arizona guys and they're combat guys, and they've been flying forever. They've been flying from the 70s. They made up a contraption with the handle, and it goes in a 6-inch PVC pipe. The handle is in a 6-inch piece of plumbing pipe. And then the up line is attached to the top of the PVC. The down line is attached to the bottom of the circular PVC. And they fly their airplanes like this.
Oh my goodness.
That is how they stick their hand in this 6-inch PVC, and there's a handle in it. That's up, that's down. If you can imagine that.
What do they fly? Just level, or do they do maneuvers?
Oh,
No.
they do maneuvers.
They fly combat like that, man.
Wow.
The biggest advantage I see having that PVC pipe like that, though, the other guy gets the body and he just
Bonk your opponent in the head. But
Yeah.
it's the crazy. I think I can dig up a picture of it somewhere. I'll see if I can find that and I'll share it next time we're on. But it's the wackiest thing ever. And when you see them flying that and flying combat matches like that, you're just shaking your head going, who the hell thinks up stuff like this, man? And why? Why would you do that?
somebody made and marketed. I've seen a couple of them in action. A handle that you fly along, and when you go inverted, you hit this button and it flips.
Flips over.
I've
Flips
seen
over.
that.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I got a question on my electric clown. I just started looking at that. What in the heck is this hole back here for? You know, I watched that video that Shug did with the electric clown, and it looked like he had that hole there. I mean, doesn't that get covered over? Or?
I never had that, but I didn't have an electric version.
Yeah, if Dennis ever gets back on, you can ask him. The directions don't show.
I haven't looked real good at the directions, but it sure looked like in the video that he had that guy Shug had that hole open and he was flying away.
Well, that's an electron catcher.
Hold that up again, Bill. Hold that up again.
I'll make you larger, but hang on.
And it's on the trailing edge. It's towards the
Yeah.
back, right?
Yeah, I think this has to do with like the battery in that, but what this is for,
Airflow.
Sporadic homotrons.
And Bill, I would not use the CA hinges on that unless you're real careful and like cut them in half and use less than what it calls. Because I used the stock hinges on mine, and those controls were just stiffer than.
Yeah, we did the same
at all.
thing.
okay.
Do yourself a favor and just put some Dubro pin hinges in it, because those CA hinges on that one. Now, I've used them on some of the bigger models. I've used them like on the Pathfinder and stuff like that. And the new ones that they have that have the slot cut out in the middle, it's not a full CA hinge. Now they got a slot, so it's just on each side, the left and right, and then there's a slot in the middle. They're definitely more flexible. But that's a small airplane, and it won't have a lot of line pull. So you don't want stiff controls on it. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Okay. Appreciate
Samantha
that.
still tells people when I had that one, first time I flew it, and it had an old Indy on it, was nose heavy anyway. And I went to do a loop, and after I got done, she goes, "Wow, Dad, you did a triangle." Because when you pull in, it would turn. It was heavy, and it would turn, and you let off, and them damn CA hinges would go back to level. So it would go straight. So you really had to nail it, you know. And I ended up cutting them back out and putting different hinges in. It was horrible.
But the third turn was exciting, at least the first time.
Yeah.
Hey, Phil, did you get my
Yes, sir.
email off the thing?
No, I didn't. I can't figure out why I can't find it. You told me it was going to be on.
It's on the chat box. I haven't put it on here yet.
I
It's
haven't
on the
found
chat
it.
box.
I haven't found it. I've looked on the chat box and I've looked everywhere else I can think of. I can't find it.
You know, Phil, we have 2 chat boxes. You know that, right, Phil?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, there's
What's the
the
second
one that I think that John's talking about is on Jitsi. It's the one to the right of the hand, down in the bottom screen there. See the hand there?
Yeah, I'll look for it in a little bit. I'll look for that in just a little bit. Then I'll have to.
Well, there's nothing there now, so maybe John will go and type
Well,
it in. But
every
there's no-
time. Okay, select time. I don't know. It's not there. I don't know.
There now.
Okay, I'll look again in a minute. Let's see. Whoops. I'm bringing up all kinds of things I didn't know anything about. Okay, tell me how to get. Wait a minute. Here we go.
I see it.
Yep. I don't see it.
Yeah, click on the one to the right of the hand.
Just to
That's
the right
right.
of the hand on the left
To the
hand.
right of the hand. Okay, I got one that says raise your hand, but that's all I got.
Yeah, the raise your hand, but there should be a box.
No, it's just a white screen beside of that.
Well, hit that.
Chat box.
Click on it.
When I do that, everybody goes. Everybody's cameras go out. My camera goes out too. But I don't know.
Hey, do I have a name up there for me or not?
No.
this fellow
We gave you one though.
It starts with the E and ends with the it.
We gave you
Keep it-
one
keep-
before you got
keep it-
here.
Keep it clean, guys.
thank you, Phil.
Rusty will hurt us if you don't.
Did that work or not?
No, I can't.
Yeah,
get it to
you're
come
two
up.
times now. Yeah,
To
you
the
got
right
it.
of the hand. I'm gonna try one more time. To the right of the hand. Okay.
Can you open it?
Right of the hand. Come on, man. No, all it does is that whole screen goes out every time I touch that.
You know what? I think you're for some reason you have to move a little bit further to the right, because what I saw was you wanted to raise your hand or wanted to say something. So go to a little bit further to the right. Just try a little bit further to the right.
It just goes out every time I touch it. It just goes out.
It looks like the same, like quote box, for like a cartoon character talking.
Yeah.
That's the one you want to click on.
No, I don't have that one. I've got select the sound device, invite someone, enable low bandwidth mode, raise your hand, toggle camera, exit the views, stop live stream, share your video, add meeting password, and help. That's it.
Wow.
Go all the way to the other side of the screen, Philip.
Do what?
Go to the other side of the screen.
Try the left-hand side.
Left hand side.
I can't go any farther. It's the
To the left?
I'll try it.
To the left, to the left.
It's not
Left-hand
doing
side of
anything.
the screen.
It's not doing anything.
Well, you just
Well, I
raised your hand and said you'd like to speak.
Yeah, that's what I'm touching. It's I'm trying to touch the left side of that. And
Are
it
you
didn't-
trying to share your screen?
You don't see a box next to that hand?
There
Nope.
should be a box right next to the hand that says share your screen.
All right, let me try
No,
it
he
again.
doesn't want to share his screen. He wants to go to the chat box.
Oh, well, there's a box, there's a hand, there's a box. You should
The
have a
hand is in the middle. You go
the
to
hand's
the
in the
right.
middle, and there should be a box on each side.
All right, there's one that says more options. That just brings up the rest of them I just read off.
That's really
I
weird.
don't know. I don't know.
That's
I can't-
weird. What? Oh, you get a pencil and paper. I'll give it to you real quick.
All right, wait a minute. Let me go get one. I'll be right back.
Okay, let me know when you get back.
All
Hey,
right,
I'm gonna-
you'll know.
I'm going to share a screen here real quick, guys. I need some advice on what airplane to put this engine in, okay?
Yeah, I just made you large.
You guys take a look at that and tell me
Where's
what
the
I
pen?
should put that plane
A
in.
piece of paper.
That plane in or the engine in?
What I should put that engine in. Look really close,
Piece of
John.
paper behind me. I don't know what that is.
You got a gear drive on it?
That is very peculiar.
That's cute.
That is very cool.
Well, you could put in an all-American boy.
What in the heck?
That is so cool, Mike.
Yeah, that's cute.
Where'd you
All
get
right,
that at?
first one can tell me the name of that wins a prize.
Brushless electric 049.
So I came across this. Let me see here. I came across that picture in the Balsa Model Builders group. Some guy posted it, and it is full on electric, but that's his mounting plate for it. He 3D printed an 049 as the mounting plate for that electric engine. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's just cool.
That's great.
That's just
So I put it up on Control Line Flying just to mess with people, and about half of them figured it out, and they're like, okay. And then, but the other half are all saying, oh, that would be good for this. It'd be good for that. Build this, build that. It went right over the top of some guys' heads, but other guys were,
Pretty cool.
Somebody said it was sorcery. That was their comment. It's sorcery.
Have any of you guys ever seen that one practical joker where there's a guy has a control line handle and it's actually an RC plane and he's flying and it looks like the guy's flying control line.
I've never seen that.
This is a pattern. The RC guy takes the plane up near the audience and scares people and then pulls out. They're thinking the plane came loose from the line. And
where's that at?
It's on the internet. I saw it years ago and I just thought, wow, what a practical joke, because I was thinking the whole time it was a control line plane, but it was an RC plane, and the pilot was able to fly it around the circle. I mean, there were two pilots, the fake one in the center with the handle, and then there was someone off screen flying it in a circle and doing maneuvers and doing all that kind of stuff. And the one guy in the center is going around like he's attached to it. And then the plane breaks off and comes into the crowd, and people freak out thinking it's but he has control of the plane. It was the funniest practical joke I've seen.
What really flips people out is when you do that, and the guy holding the handle is still looking this way, and the airplane's back there, and you're looking around trying to find his airplane, can't find it, and then they take it over into the crowd like that.
Okay.
Weird Al sitting down on the next to the circle flying the thing. He's the only RC guy we got that can do it, but he can fly the whole pattern with his radio plane and stay in the sphere, do everything correctly, and he would score pretty good if he was judged. But I was the dummy in the center of the circle, and I'm sitting there. Where'd it go?
That was you? That was on the internet? Was that
no,
you?
I don't think. If they put it on the internet, which wouldn't surprise me, Bill and some of the guys are crazy enough to do it. But we just did it for a gag. We just did it for a good laugh because, well, Al and I are both a little crazy, and it just seemed like something to do.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there looking for my plane that's over here bugging the people who are watching everybody on the what do you call it thing? Metal stands like at a baseball game.
Yeah.
Everybody bailed off of the darn thing. About 20 people watching us.
Yeah,
They all bailed off the darn thing. Yeah, that was pretty neat. It was a lot of fun. I turn around, oh, there it is. And I go back to flying. And we just had a ball with it. But I think there's somebody else has done that too on the internet. But that may be where Al got the idea, in fact. But Al is an interesting individual. He's a lot of fun. He's kind of sick now and not flying much anymore. But about 10 years ago, he was a character.
Oh, I talked to John Paris. He cleaned up at the Dayton contest.
He cleans up everywhere. He's no fun.
He took first in Nostalgia 30, first in Old Time, I think first in Profile, and first in Expert.
Good Lord.
Wow.
Now, he's one of the ones that makes you think we ought to come up with another class and bump those guys up into it. That's just
John, I got him enter all those classes.
You got a pencil there now, Phil?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's small letters to begin with.
Yes, sir.
JOB.
Okay.
EL. CRANK. 2.
Okay. 2. Okay.
At
Uh-huh.
gmail.com.
Well, I got you. I'll get you. I'll
All right.
fire some off at you here in a few minutes.
All right.
All right, John.
I
Now
sure
you're gonna
appreciate
have
it.
all these Russian girls emailing you.
Oh, Lord.
The ones I don't get are the ones that are on Facebook wanting to be my friend.
Yeah.
Well, you brute. What do you expect?
I don't know.
John,
my
you
wife's
come on,
only been dead 3 months.
but son, you come on there looking like Santa Claus, and they all want they want to have a good Christmas.
They want to do this.
But you might have said you had a fixed income, and so they thought, well, security.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm telling you.
I got a question here. How many guys on here are Navy veterans? I know Mike is. I know Ed is. Anybody else? There's just the 3 of us?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
I
aware
thought
of
it'd be
Force
more.
Brat.
Hey, there's a Canuck.
Hey?
Yeah, but there's no pic. Yeah, but there's no picture.
Okay.
I don't know what the heck's going
We
on.
can see you.
He's delayed.
Hey,
John, were you going to talk about VJ Day today?
Say what?
Were you going to mention VJ Day?
You got me now.
Oh, well, today's the day the Japanese surrendered in Subic.
Oh, yes.
That's why I thought you were going with the Navy stuff.
No. I was just curious about how many Navy vets are flying model airplanes.
Oh gosh, we got 2.
Yeah,
We've got 2 in our club, and then 2
Number one.
other Air Force brats, and then I don't know about Charlotte. There's at least 2 or 3 down there, but Virginia, my gosh, half of that club was Navy.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Swindell and that group, man, they were.
Yeah, Sparky.
Yeah. Come think of it.
it seems to me, that I mean, there were a lot of Army guys and Air Force guys in that flying control line throughout the year. Colonel Trossel, excellent builder. Have you seen his new MB5 stunner?
No.
I've heard pictures. I've heard stories of it. I'd love to see it.
He won precision scale with an MB5, and this one, if a casual look at it sitting there, you think that's his scale MB5 sitting there, precision scale, but it's got more. It's got the same fuselage length, but it's got more wing. Gorgeous, absolutely, man, that guy could build. But anyway, Colonel Trossel was on the Air Force team. They used to. So yeah, he has a long roots as a. But I know at Iwakuni base there in Japan, there were a lot of guys that were Navy guys that were flying, and over in the Philippines as well.
Well, John, do you know Bob Brooks? Not the
Philippine base is not there anymore.
That Bob Brooks?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on the Navy team.
Was he?
Control line Navy team, yeah.
I'll be darned, I didn't know that.
He actually, I think he's actually won some military championship, if I remember correctly.
Interesting. Well, I think, Bart Klipinski was, I think, on the Army, but you can't take anything away from him flying wise. That guy will beat you to death. I heard, I don't know if the story's true, but I heard he actually won a contest where you were supposed to take some weird household item and make it fly. He did a coffee table, made it fly.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I can believe it. I can believe in him. I believe he could stun a rock.
I was at a contest, and Bart Kapinski borrowed someone's airplane and beat that person. He won the contest and beat the person that he just borrowed the plane from. I mean, I think that's
I had Tom Looper do that to me twice. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, someone takes
beat
your
me on my own plane
and flies an official flight with your plane and beats you. That's
Looper's done that to me twice.
Yeah, I just found out that this Samantha's sister's old boyfriend got it. He did park flying. I lived a long ways away from like an hour away, but he got into a little bit of radio control, and him and his love of airplanes. I found out for the last 15 years he's been flying a tanker for the Air Force, refueling other airplanes.
Oh wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, when he was a kid, I mean, I wish they were closer and stuff like that could have helped him more, but yeah, he was really into airplanes and stuff like that. And we got him little park flyers that he could fly, but he wasn't nowhere near a field or any of us that flew. But yeah, he became an Air Force pilot. Like, wow.
John, you remember?
I knew a guy when I was in Pearl. When I was in Pearl, he said he was the only guy that he knows could get paid to lay down and pass gas.
Yeah.
And he run the
boom,
snorkel
right?
out to refuel, laying down in the back of the plane, refueling in the air. So he's getting paid to pass gas.
What airplane do they use? The tankers now, is that still they use the old McDonnell Douglas DC
KC-130?
Was it KC-130 they're refueling with now?
Yeah.
Is that a modification of an airliner or something?
It is, yeah.
Which airliner do you know?
It's a I think it's, I'm going to sound stupid if I say the wrong thing, but wasn't it a 707 or something like that?
727, something like that.
Well, it wasn't a 727.
I thought it was McDonnell Douglas. I thought it was like a DC-8
engines.
I've seen one. If it's 3 inch, if it's a TriStar, it's either a DC-10 or an L-1011.
Yeah.
Oh, L-1011. That may be what they're using.
I didn't think there was
They're
any
both
pens that been flying anymore. The damn engine on a rudder was falling off those things all the time.
No,
man.
that wasn't. That was, everybody kept saying that's what it was. The problem with the DC-10 and the especially the L-1011 was wire chafing.
It was the L-1011.
It was wire chafing, and they said that the problem was there were so darn many miles of wire in that plane, it would cost more to rewire it than the plane was worth. So they scrapped them. That makes a lot of sense. But anyway, that's the military for you. Two things I have learned. If you count on military intelligence, you have just screwed up.
They say military intelligence is an oxymoron anyway.
I mean that. I mean,
What was your question, Phil?
Do what?
What was your question for me?
Oh, do you remember Hawk Hawkins?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an Air Force guy. He designed a P-40 and flew it for many years, and campaigned that thing. I've got one of his downstairs that I got from Tom Morris. That I was down there, and that thing was sitting there. I said, Tom, when are you ever going to finish that P-40? It was here last time I was here. That's been 4 years ago. He said, if you'll finish it, take it with you. So I'm working on it. I'm going to finish that thing.
Well,
and my phone keeps thinking that I'm trying to ask it a question. Siri keeps coming on and saying, what can I help you with?
Well,
anyway.
I can tell you that if you ever get a chance to see in person Colonel Trossel's MB-5, the precision scale, or his new stunt ship.
Oh, I've seen the precision scale. He brought it here to Winston-Salem when we had the 4A here, and he had the spinner on the front of it that had the front prop was driven and the back prop was driven by gears, little tiny, like watch gears.
Yeah.
And that thing was so real looking, it was scary, and it flew as well as it looked. Now, he did not fly on that propeller, on that prop. When he flew, the rear propeller was fluid drive, as Randy Smith called it. It was on a bearing, and it spun the other way. But strangely, it didn't make that sound that Randy's Sig Magnum made when it flew. If any of you that ever, I'm sure everybody's heard of Randy Smith's counter-rotating prop airplane. When it was flying, it sounded like it made a humming whistle. Similar, the only thing I've ever heard similar to it, the Beechcraft Starship sounded like it when it was flying over. But when the front prop quit, it sounded like the longest, loudest gastrus extremitus you ever heard. And it'd go a lap like that. It was amazing. And loud? Geez, that thing was loud. But it was a fun plane to watch.
Colonel Keith has been posting pictures of it in the "What have you done in your shop?" or "What did you do in your shop today?" You go in there for about the last week or so. He's been posting stuff on it, and it's just gorgeous. Just his cockpit detail. If you didn't know better, you'd think it was a photograph being taken of the real cockpit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Keith from way back. I mean, when I saw him beat Al Raby, who was at that time my absolute hero, because I just loved that big pickle barrel he was flying, the Sea Fury. I loved the Bearcat, but the year I went, I thought he was going to fly the Bearcat, and he flew the Sea Fury. And everybody teased him, called it the pickle barrel, because it was 6 inches round at the front end and round. But anyway, I looked at his plane, and I looked at Keith Trossel's plane, and I got to meet Keith and talk to him a little bit. And Keith's stuff is just amazing. All his stuff's like that.
Yeah,
I think Keith could build a Ringmaster and people would be at all. He's just that way.
Well, he has a cam operated Raby rudder.
Mm-hmm. Works on a slide.
It's cam. It slides with the elevator horn moves forward and aft, and it slides. Yeah. And he can program in with the different cams how much in rudder or inside rudder, how much outside rudder, where it comes in, and
yeah,
it's
I've seen it. Nylon blocks.
Yeah,
that was on his FW190 that he won the Nats with, and I'm telling you, he is very meticulous, and I share your awe for his work. He is something else, and Keith is as nice as they come.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think he's a classy guy too.
He really is. He really is. He's a class act.
I just got a big envelope from him. We were discussing, the subject came up on the Dick Williams Electra classic plane from 1959.
Mm-hmm.
Came up on there, and we were discussing it, and we got toward the end of the discussion. I couldn't remember what, there you go. I couldn't remember what, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. That's the cockpit.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Wow, that is something.
Anyway,
gracious.
Meticulous.
Yeah. I couldn't remember what issue of model aviation, not model build, flying models that I published that in. And nor could I remember the month or the date. And Keith has a whole library where he has taken and made copies and has them all cataloged of every stunt article in the model aviation purveyance from time immemorial to now.
That's it.
Wow.
And anyway, he sent me this nice folder, has a complete copy of the article, and all of it. I read that and said, gee whiz, man, I was a pretty good writer back then.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's Peter who brought the picture up?
Say what?
Was that Peter who brought up the picture?
Yeah.
It was me.
Oh, it was you? No.
Thanks, Mike.
You're getting good at this stuff, Mike.
Yeah, normally Peter does that stuff. And you guys, that really helps the program. I appreciate it very much.
Well, I heard you. I wanted to see this cockpit after you started talking about it, so I went and looked at it, and I'm like, all right, we'll just share it.
It's a pretty amazing model, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, it is, and that's a scale model, I'm guessing. What is the name of the airplane?
He won first place in precision scale with that model.
What is the actual name of the airplane?
Martin Baker MB5.
MB5.
Martin Baker. Okay.
It was an after the war British design based on the Mustang with a Rolls-Royce Griffin engine in it.
Well, the only thing I know about Martin Baker is they used to be the handle on skydiving rigs. The old, it was called a Martin Baker handle. The big silver D-ring, like in an L shape. It was almost in an L shape, and they called them Martin Baker handles. And they were on old skydiving rigs back in the 70s.
Well, the MB5 was one of the few airplanes that the English ever built. The only other one I know of is there's two others. The Mosquito's pretty good to look at, and the Spitfire. But every other British airplane you look at is just butt ugly.
The Lancaster
those three turned out pretty nice.
How about their ferry swordfish? Biplane
Yeah,
torpedo bomber.
that's not bad looking either, but that's back in the biplane days.
Yeah, they used that in World War II to try to sink the Bismarck.
They did?
Yes, they did.
I'm gonna have to get busy and do some reading now.
They call that the string bag.
Well, I tell you what, I didn't think they really got ugly until they got into mid-war and the bombers that they built. Some of the fighters were actually good-looking airplanes, but the English just couldn't build a bomber that looked like anything but ugh.
Well,
but they worked.
The Lancaster was all geodesic. You know, it took forever to build one, but their structure-wise, they cut down on the structure.
Yeah.
Hey, Len, can you hear us and see us? Are you alive over there in Canada?
Yeah, I'm just being quiet, letting everybody talk.
You were so still there for a minute. I thought you and Gary had called each other and talked about taking naps during the show.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're bad.
No, I'm just sitting here thinking about. I'm just sitting here thinking about Martin Baker 5s. I have a spinner for a stunt marker, Martin Baker 5, that Windy was planning to build as one of his next projects just before he got out of the hobby. And I have the spinner for it, but I need a plan for that airplane. And I don't know where I would get one.
Talk to Keith Trossel.
Yeah, he might have it, or Frank Williams, one or the other.
Yeah, Frank Williams was the one I was trying to think of.
You see that, Len?
What am I looking at?
Let me click on you.
You got that thing built that quick?
It's all ready to go, eh?
2.5 days. I started it Saturday morning. I finished it this morning.
Good boy. That looks awesome. So now you got two stunters. What are you powering it with? PA 75?
61.
61. Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Good looking plane.
Looks good.
Let us know how it flies. If that thing works out, I might think about one.
That looks awesome.
Went together super easy and really fast.
Good.
And
that's awesome.
I was saying earlier, I think I might pick up 2 more and just put them on the shelf for Sam later on before you can't get them anymore. You know,
before you can't get it. Exactly. That's a good idea.
Everything that works, they do away with.
I bought this from. I got this from Randy at Joe Knoll last year. He had it in the trunk of his car, in his van. So I was like, all right, yeah, sure, why not?
Here's a picture for you, Mike.
Let me click on you, Jeff. Hang on. Where are you at?
That's the junkyard dog.
Oh yeah,
very good.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely good.
It's like your plane almost falling off the table.
Yeah, very good. I like that, Jeff.
There it is.
I'm trying. I don't see the picture yet. Oh, there it is. Hang on.
There you go. Looks kind of like a cross between a Nobler and a Smoothie.
That looks cool.
It kind of is. It's got that Empire State Building rudder on it.
Yeah.
I like the cowl.
I like the plane. That's neat.
Here we go.
26
That's a
ounces.
cool. Very nice.
I like the long tail moment. That looks.
I like
good.
the weight, 26 ounces.
26.
Yeah, right.
As it sits right now, it's 26 ounces.
That's because it's got a Fox 35 in it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's awesome.
Why do you think it's called the junkyard dog?
But at 26 ounces, the Fox ought to fly it well because it's going to be.
Okay, Jeff, I got a
38. Go ahead.
You got what?
Go ahead.
What's up, Lynn?
I was going to ask you, do you run mufflers on your Foxes or run them wide open?
It's got a muffler on that. Didn't you see it?
This one's got a big art on it.
Okay. All right.
Can't go wrong with an art.
Did you guys notice that they're having in September? I think it's the 19th. They're having a celebration of life for John Brodak at his grounds. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I heard about it.
And it's apparently there won't be any more Brodak meets. They're letting the circles go back to nature. They took the
Oh.
monument for all the people who had passed on. With John being the last one, they moved that down to in front of Brodak Industries or Brodak Manufacturing, and so
Okay.
But so there won't be any more Brodak meets apparently.
Well, I heard somewhere, maybe I heard it on here, or that there was a sign out there that said no flying.
Yeah, that's what my understanding is that I don't know where the club that they started in
Right.
is going to fly, but they probably got a place somewhere by now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a shame.
Yeah, things change. It's sad.
Yeah, it is sad, but I understand. I can imagine Buzz not necessarily wanting 200 or 300 people tramping all over her backyard like
Well,
that.
the sheer manpower it takes and the preparations to put that on. I mean,
Yeah,
it's completely understandable, you know.
it is. We had 20 years of it, or 19 or 20, 22 years of it, I think.
That's right. 22, I think
Maybe
it was.
maybe Nat's participation will increase now because there's a lot of people that don't go to the Nats because they got to choose one or the other. You know, it's Brodak's or the Nats, and
That's true.
maybe Joe Nall will see a little uptick as well. You know,
If they do like they said,
I mean, doing 3 1-week contests is hard. I did it. I've done them all in 1 year. Nats, Brodak's, and Joe Nall, and it hits the pocketbook pretty hard, man.
Yeah, and it's taxing on the body too.
Yeah.
I was living in Wisconsin when all the talk first came up about no longer having the traveling nationals, and that they were going to buy this 800 acres or so in Indiana. And the idea at that time was that they were going to do one there and then one further west or for the West Coast, and they just would travel between those two. I wish they'd have done that because it is literally for those of us on the West Coast, you think going to 3 contests that are relatively within 400 or 500 miles is taxing. Imagine taking almost 2,700 miles and taking half a week to get there, and then a half a week to get back.
That's a long way.
It makes it so that the guys on the West Coast or this side of the Rocky Mountains makes it really difficult for us to get to a contest, to the net.
John, I hope I get to experience that at some point because I really, really want to go to the Bladder Grabber in Sonomish, the big fast combat meet. And all the Detroit guys go every year, and the Chicago guys go. And some of them drive it, some of them ship their stuff and fly. And, that's only a 3-day contest. That's just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But, man, they still go. And one of these years, I'm going to
You will have so much fun. Try to see if you can get for the Northwest Regionals or for the Golden State Stunt Championship.
I want to go to Golden State.
You'll love it.
Yeah, it's a great contest, Phil.
The list of people that were competing there last year, I don't know if it was last year, year before, and then first to third was like 2 points, 2.5 points, something like that, less than 5 points. First to third.
Yeah.
If you can place in the top 10, you have really done something because 1 through 9 are all past national and world champions.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, Mike, another
Really good.
West Coast fast combat contest you might think about if they still do it is Top Gun
Yeah, they do Top Gun still.
in Tucson.
Yeah, they do it.
Yeah, I pitted that one time with Greg Carter and
It's
Garen
pathetic.
Ron Cash. I had a blast just pitting. I wasn't even flying.
The only contest I went to in Arizona, I went to the March Madness F2D event in Phoenix one time, and this is the best way to go to a contest. I was actually in Phoenix for a funeral, unfortunately, but I had a free day. I made myself a free day on Sunday, and I flew F2D fast there with a buddy's borrowed equipment. So I just showed up. He put a handle in my hand, and he's like, "Here's the airplanes," and I flew F2D fast all day.
Right on.
And I wrecked all 3 of his airplanes that I borrowed, and then I got on a plane and went home. That's the best way to do it.
That is the best way to do it.
Another contest on out west here that you might enjoy if you enjoyed going to Arizona. In Tucson, about in February, they have the Southwest Regionals, and it's a ball to go to because everywhere else it's cold, and nasty, and snowy, and whatever. You get there and it's nice. It's like 65, 70 degrees. You know, it doesn't get really. It's not up where it's getting really hot, and you're flying Christopher Columbus Park, the same place at old VSC, and it's just a ball. It's just a ball.
Yeah,
So,
I was going to try to make the Las Vegas Stunt Challenge this year because, you know, we've been to a whopping 1 contest this year, so my contest budget is still pretty fat. And McBride said I could show up and he'd loan me an airplane there, but they just canceled that one last week.
No. Oh.
Yeah, Vegas is canceled. Yeah, they canceled it last week.
I was the biggest challenge.
I'm hoping Georgia doesn't cancel, but I'm not.
They're not. They're full on going. As far as I just talked to Tom the other day, he said it's a go. So,
well, I talked to him too, and he was telling me the same thing. But the news reports of the COVID cases down there are rising so fast that I don't know. I'm not sure I'm gonna. I may go down for a day and pick up some stuff that I've got down there. I may not get to stay because I just can't take a chance on bringing something home to her. I'm not about that. There ain't no contest worth bringing home to her.
Understandable.
Yeah, that's understandable.
We were planning to go to that contest, but we can't. Obviously, we can't go.
No, it's got the border closed, don't it?
The borders are
the border's going to be closed for quite a while, I think, too.
Thank God we're not letting those darn Canadians into the country anymore.
They're bringing all that funny money down here with it, with pictures with ladies on it, on the money.
Oh,
yeah.
We're just
We got
having
on the program.
Hey, Robert.
Unbelievable.
Got the backup, Lynn.
Hey, Mike.
Oh, Lynn's bringing in reinforcements, man. We got the Canadian Army invading.
That's right. That's right. We need all the reinforcements we can get.
Yeah.
Well, talk dirty about one of them.
Like,
What happens?
Like I emailed to Mike, I'm sorry I've been rude to you guys last couple of months. It's just been a living hell in our family with people dying. My sister's funeral last week and just health and all kinds of stuff. So I just
sorry to hear
everything. So
sorry to hear about
nothing
that.
personal to you guys.
Did you get a package from me yet, Robert?
Oh heck no, that won't come for a month.
Yeah, that was.
You got the money though, did you, Mike?
Yeah, we're all good. We're all good. It went out.
Okay.
I don't know, over 2 weeks ago, probably close to 3. I think it's getting close. It took 3 weeks last time, so.
Yeah, no rush. I mean, I got 10 more to use, and I'm not going to be using them until next spring at this rate anyway. So what the hell?
Okay. Well, just do me a favor and shoot me a quick message when they show up. Let me know they got their
Oh, I
okay
will.
and all that stuff.
I will for sure.
And I don't know if I should say this on the internet, but I sent them as a gift, and I only valued them at $20, man. So you don't get dinged on the because it is a gift. There you go.
Hey, if they're only valued at $20, why'd you charge me more? Oh, it's that exchange rate thing, right?
It's freight.
Hey, Mike, never trust a Canadian.
And I got a bumper sticker still on my truck to prove it.
Yeah, you just leave it there.
Hey, you know, you got to be careful about the Yanks too. That engine I got, it was $19 shipping or whatever, right? That's typical. I was looking on eBay thinking about another engine the other day. They wanted $60 shipping to Canada. Screw them.
Yeah.
$60 shipping anywhere. Screw them.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow my truck made it home from Brodex last year with some devious Canada sticker on the back of it.
I wonder who put that there.
I don't know.
You only need one guess.
You don't want to try
you're
to
just
cross
showing
the
some
border with
class
that
on your
there. They'll
ass.
take you right in and make you a guest of the Queen.
Mike,
Yeah.
he was just showing some class on your ass.
Oh, bad. I'll tell you what.
I'm surprised there wasn't an American sticker on my van, but I didn't see one.
You
So
set
we're
yourself
having a
up, brother.
contest this weekend. It's the only stunt contest or control line contest in Western Canada this year.
Excellent.
So it should be a good one, even though if we don't have too many people, except for the forecast for high winds, the field, we've got it all prepped perfect, and everything's good to go on all classes of stunt.
Is that Prairie Fire?
Wow.
Yeah, Prairie Fire. Yeah.
Awesome.
Robert, how did your rugged stunt trainers come out? Fleet, your
Well,
airport.
I haven't finished painting them yet because, like I said, I got stuck on hold, but I'll show you a picture. Here, hang on.
Oh, there they are.
All right.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Cool.
I've
look
been
nice.
having high winds every day when I've been trying to get out in the yard and paint them, so I've been kind of screwed on that, but oh well.
They'll get
So
done.
that's where all the wind went. We got the rain. You still got the wind.
I got
At
heat.
least it's supposed to be calm tomorrow, and I'm back to work tomorrow flying, so I've got to do sort of a test flight and a ferry flight on a little Piper tail dragger. I haven't flown the type before, but it's pretty similar to lots of other ones, so I'm kind of glad it's supposed to be reasonably calm tomorrow.
I'm almost finished my 1976 way back machine.
Oh.
What are you working on, Len?
I'll bring it up. I'll show you.
All right.
I think I'm going to buy another SV11
What's
also.
the carriager's name?
Magician.
Always running the Wayback Machine.
Say again, Robert.
I think I'm going to buy another SV11 also, because I got that spare Super Tiger 56 now that I got from Randy Smith, and buddy down in Lacombe has a brand new one in the box in his hobby shop, and no one's put dibs on it, so I think I'll grab one.
I just finished this today, Robert.
What'd you put in it for an engine, Mike?
PA 61. It's the
yeah.
Brodak ARF. I mean, it's not a kit. Are you talking about an ARF or a kit?
Yeah, an ARF. The one
An
you
ARF,
got
yeah.
there is identical to the one I already have, and the other one will be red if I get it.
Yeah, I started this Saturday morning and I finished it this afternoon.
Hey, remember the instructions say 5 hours. What's wrong?
Yeah, whatever, man.
Did you sleep?
I did.
You sleep?
5 hours for the cowl, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I
Here
had
comes the guys.
16 or 17 hours in it, something like that.
Yeah, easy. Yeah.
Hey
Did you
guys,
put a cockpit in it?
If Lynn makes it to the Nationals next year, if I don't do it, somebody else put an American flag on the back of his truck.
Yeah.
We got to fix
Are
him
you
up.
showing off your cosmic wind there, Len?
Yeah, this was my 1976, I built my first big airplane, and this is the way I painted it and everything. So I'm just
Okay,
doing
hold on one sec. I'm going to get something to show you guys.
Very nice, Lynn. Looks
That's
good.
awesome, Len.
Thank you.
And I love that idea too, because I've been thinking the same thing. I had a twister that I built when I was 14, and I remember it was just black with white stripes, and I had Aces High on the front of it, and I had Eddie from Iron Maiden as the pilot, and I want to do the
That's
same
awesome.
thing. I want to build the same plane that I built when I was a kid. That's great that you did that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think we should all do that. You should all have your first airplane you ever flew control line, rebuild a replica of it. I've had more fun building this than I ever thought I would. It's been great.
All right. Look at that. That's pretty.
Hopefully I'll be able to fly it on the weekend.
That's the original SV11. That's Randy.
Yeah, that's first one.
That's it. And it didn't have a pipe. It had I can't tell what engine was in there, but you can see the muffler right there on the side exhaust.
The Tiger 60.
There we go.
Probably.
It was a Tiger 60.
Nice paint job.
So, Len, what are you putting for power in that thing?
Oh, Jeff would be impressed. A Fox 35.
Awesome. Hey, if you guys want to do an in here, this is a replica of my very first model.
All right.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Same one. Look at that.
Yeah.
And
Wow,
that's
that's good.
the original engine. and the original bell crank in it.
Wow,
Just
that's
no
amazing.
better. Yeah, when I was 11 years old, this was my Christmas present, a box of wood. I'd never seen a model airplane before. I wanted a PT-19. I'm damn glad I got this instead of those pieces of crap.
I'll bet.
Oh, hell yeah.
For sure.
Len,
That's
are
so
you
This
cool.
up, and I hope that I can get my dad out to the field so that he can actually see it fly. He's doing a lot better in the care home now instead of just the seniors home.
Oh, good.
So it took about a year
That
off
is cool.
dementia.
So is there a fuel tank on there? I'm trying to figure that out.
No, I
No.
don't yet. I've got a mount for the fuel tank, but I've taken it off. I've still got to clear coat this and do some detailing.
Okay.
I like
cool.
the notch in the wing to fit the bigger
Yeah,
tank.
Mike.
are
Yeah,
you what? I'm sorry, I'll let Robert finish here.
Yeah, I'm just putting a 4-ounce RST Sullivan tank on it, clunk, and it just worked out better to notch the wing a bit and make it a little bit adjustable. You know, I had the old perfect 4-ounce tank that I could
That's
put
what
on
I've
it.
got. Oh, I got to show you guys. This is what I'll show you the tank I got.
Here's mine. Let's see if I can. Got a. As actually, it's my dad's. He built it in 1962. Got a 1957 McCoy Redhead on it.
Very nice.
Probably one of the best flying planes we got.
How do you get it to bring up a picture of when someone's showing something here? I don't know.
Oh, it's me. Just ask
What
me
are
to
you
do it.
on? What are you on, a tablet or a phone?
Yeah, I'm on an iPad. Yeah.
You're on an iPad. So
iPad's
in the
fine.
bottom left corner, do you have a hand sticking up with two squares on each side of it? Or raise your hand
Nope.
up. Okay, you probably can't do it from a tablet then.
You should, if they're on Jitsi.
Well, no, the application doesn't work the same on every device. Like, I can't do it from my phone. I can't do it from an iPhone. And I can't do it from my daughter's tablet. I can only do it from a Chromebook or a desktop.
Len has got a perfect tank.
Oh, there you go.
Look at that. A number 11 perfect 4-ounce wedge tank, and the price was $1.55.
$1.95.
That's pretty cool.
Len, I got about 20 of those just rusting and corroding in a box, man. I'll send them to you, man. You can have every one of them.
Look at that. This one's corroding. Look at the corrosion on it. But it's going on that airplane.
That's what I wanted to ask you, Len. Are you the same Len that just a few weeks ago said foxes? Oh, what? Oh, that fox.
Well,
I got rid of it.
Okay. Now just listen. Just listen. No, listen here. Here's the deal. That airplane originally had an Enya 35 on it, my first one. But there's no way I'm putting that big block of crap on there. There's no way. It's just too heavy. So therefore, after I had the airplane for a couple of years, I did put a Fox 35 in it. So that's what I'm going to put in it. And you know what? They run fine as long as you don't put a muffler on them. I find they run good.
You better
That's why
have
I
it
was
cleaned up nice when I see it flying, man. Because if you can't get it started or it goes screaming lean, I'm going to laugh at you.
All right, then I'll just grab an OS and put on it. I'll put an OS 35 on it instead if I have to. But I think I can make the Fox work.
Oh, I like the biplane.
Lynn, what muffler are you going to put on it?
No muffler.
His mic isn't on. His
There we
mic
go.
isn't on.
Robert's
not on.
mic is turned off.
Whose?
Robert's.
Oh,
And there we go.
There you
I know
go.
you got
There
one
we
of these
go.
on your wall, Mike.
I do. Well, I did.
Mike Springer?
I did have one on my wall. I gave it to Will Davis at the Nationals because he's going to electrify it.
Okay.
wow.
This is the third model airplane I ever built.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
I had
look
that,
at that.
Too.
I had that same one. I got it free at Brodax. A guy gave it to me, and I passed it on to Will because I'm not going to do anything with it. He's going to electrify it with a throttle. He thinks that'll
Cool.
be a backyard plane for Joe Knoll and for his grandkids and stuff.
Yeah, I had my first
Nice.
36X on that, but after my mom died, that was her favorite airplane of all the ones I had. So after she died, I decided I'll never fly it again. Don't want to risk it.
I've always wanted to build the Sterling SE5 because Dad had one hanging on the wall when I was a kid, and it was already wrecked. It had been broken, but of course he never threw anything away. So I saw it hanging on the wall. I mean, I was probably 4 or 5, my first memories of it, and it just he never repaired it. But I always thought it was so cool. But then I think about the wood in those old Sterling kits, and man, I just don't want to deal with that. If somebody made a laser cut version of the SE5, the full bodied one, I would buy it.
The RC one had half-assed decent wood in it. I've got one framed up actually from way back when that I've got to finish one day. I didn't really like the control line one, so I took the RC one that's a little bit bigger, and I'm doing that up for scale. It's a way better quality kit, and the wood really isn't that bad in it.
No.
Yeah, but for nostalgia, I want to know.
It was the die cutting that was hard.
Well, mine is nostalgia. I mean, it's like I bought the kit in 1975.
Well, yeah, I get it.
Mike, let me ask you this one: Are you interested in just building an SE5? Because you can. No. I've got Tom Looper redrew a 38 Special as an SE5, and it flies great. But
if I was going to do one, I would do the original Sterling kit with the aluminum radiator and set up for. I think they flew on a 19 or something like that.
Yeah,
19 to 35. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd probably. I mean, like I said, if I could swap all the wood out and make it light enough, the thing would probably fly on a 15. You know, well, you probably need a 19 for a biplane. But
one of the really good scale guys in our club built one, and he gave it to me. He's not flying any longer, and I've got it hanging in my garage. It's absolutely beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah, I haven't. I
flew a Newport 28 kicking around too, but I'm rebuilding it from a crash, but or will eventually maybe. But talk about awful wood. I mean, shit, you damn nears would need a 60 to fly that thing. It'd be so heavy.
I've got a D7 in the kit box still.
Wow.
D7, yeah.
The D7. I used to have one, and I flew it for 23 years. I flew it, and I finally crashed it in 2012 and destroyed it. So I managed to get a kit at Brodax off the swap table about 6-7 years ago.
You know, Stan Froneberger is re-popping those, the SPAD and the D7.
Oh, wow.
Laser cut, nice.
Oh, wow.
And they're like under $100 or something like that, man.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of guys on control line flying building those things, and they say the wood is just night and day difference. And the laser cutting, of course, it just goes together like a jigsaw puzzle.
Oh, bet.
You might want to look into vintage performance on the Facebook. Get on Naomi. Is Naomi's on the control line flying page?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
She's been a little soft on it lately because she's.
It wasn't so much the wood quality, but after a while, the die cutting on Sterling kits was absolutely awful.
It was bad.
You mean die crushing?
Die crunch.
Exactly die crushing. Yeah.
That's exactly.
Yeah, I just got a nice acquisition that I'm going to put in my Sterling Spitfire probably. I need a rebuild. It's got a brand new, never run Super Tagger C35 stunt version.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, that's nice.
I got the combat version of that.
Canadian. Yeah, I've got two of them. Well, no, I've got one combat version and one RC version.
Yeah.
I had the RC version for my carrier plane.
I just traded a G21 35 for 4 Foxes.
How many of you guys have doubles of the same kits?
I got a few.
No,
I do.
Flying Fool and this and that, but
Geese Knobler.
I just realized I bought another twister kit off of Tom Brightbill off of Stunt Hangar because it was like $30, I think he wanted for it. And I want to build another twister like we were talking about when we were kids or whatever, first airplane. I go to put it in my kit, and I got 3 twisters up there already. That's number 4.
Those are good planes, though.
And I found 3 Skyrays up there too.
I've had an order for 4 months.
Start building. Sam can use them.
Well, that's the thing. And I got a couple of the old Estes Ringmaster kits. Sam's going to start building Ringmasters and Skyrays and Twisters, and we'll probably just give them away to kids that need them or whatever, because he's way beyond those airplanes. But he needs to learn how to build.
Shoot, I still fly my modified Twister.
Well, I've got a Twister on order from SIG, and it's been on order for 4 months. And from what I hear, it's kind of crap wood that's being shipped with the ones they do send out. So I might cancel it. Just scratch build one out of foam or something.
This one I got from Brightbill looks like the box is from the 80s. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's an old one. So
if you want to part with it, bring it to Atlanta.
Let's make a deal.
No. Christ, shipping a kit to Canada, God, that probably cost $50, man.
Yeah, but
bring it to Atlanta with you, Mike. Not Mike. Bring it to Atlanta with you if you want to get rid of it. We might have to talk about that.
I didn't say I was selling anything, man.
Oh, shucks. Okay.
I just said
Mike, there's always a price.
Hey,
come on.
Well, you got to try.
Yeah, well, actually, I bought 2 Skyrays at the Nats, but they were like $20 a piece, man. So you can't say no to that.
Right.
And bought one, and a couple of the other guys bought some. I'm giving one to Randy Burt's kid at the Nats. He's getting a kit. Randy Burt, I don't know. He's been on the forum a little bit, but he's got, I think, a 10 or 12-year-old kid that's starting to fly. So we're bringing him a flight streak that Lot Moore built with a brand new Brodak 25 on it. We're giving him one of our flight streaks, and then we're going to give him that Skyray kit too down in Canton if the contest goes off. Just passing some stuff on. So
yeah, that'll be fun.
Hey Phil, you're looking for a Twister?
Yeah, that was the first plane that I ever modified. It kit bashed, I should say, was a SIG Twister, and I've still got it hanging in the basement. And everybody told me that I had copied. Everybody sees it, says I've copied the Fancerized Twister, but rounded everything. I don't like angles. I like curves.
I do too.
So I restyled everything and made it all curvy. And everybody was telling me, "Oh, you copied Fancer," but Bob Hunt was down here for a contest when I brought that thing out the first time and saw it. And he says, "Have you heard of Fancer's Twister?" I said, Fancer did a Twister? I mean, I know he did Trivial Pursuit, but I didn't know he did a Twister. He said, "I didn't think it'd been published yet." He says, you and Ted need to get together because you're thinking along the same lines. But I just extended the tail moment 2 inches and then 17 3/8, and then rounded the rudder, made it look kind of teardrop shaped, and just restyled a Twister. I had a Twister that I learned a pattern with, and it always felt like it was hunting just a little bit. And I thought, well, maybe if I stretch the tail out a little bit, and instead of a Fox 35, I put an FP40 up front, or I think it was FP35 originally, actually. But anyway, I put it together, and it worked. And I took it to Atlanta and flew my first contest with that airplane. And my first airplane was Little Satan, I think. Little Satan or a Combat Kitten. But my first big plane, contest plane anyway, was that one. I'd like to rebuild that plane because the one in the basement is 40 years old. I'm scared to fly it. It's 40 years old.
I don't know if you're interested or not, but I've got it. I think I just shut my shop down. I'd have to go look at the shelf, but I think I've got the Twister kit that's everything but the fuselage.
Well, that's fine because I stretch.
I'll give it to you. I'll just ship it to you.
Well, let me get your email address and I'll ship something out there to send you something. Well, that won't.
Well, wait until I make sure I got it, because.
Okay, I appreciate that. Really, there's not
see.
much to those planes, but it's just it would be fun to build a kit again.
Because I'm sure the wing is there. Most likely the tail section is there, but you're going to throw away anyway.
Yeah, I'll restyle everything.
I mean, if nothing else, it's a set of ribs.
That's right. Yeah. The wing is what you really want.
The wing is what you're really after anyway. I take it. I don't. My fuselages. I gut them so bad that to lighten them up that there's not much there, and then I sheet them with 1/16. But if you guys want to build a profile and you want to build it a good bit lighter and make it fly a heck of a lot better, I don't care if it's a 38 special or if it's a twister or what it is, gut the silly thing and put white foam in between it. Just take a hot wire and hot wire it down, and then sheet it 1/16 and put the sheeting, instead of running it front to back, run it on diagonal like a Mo Best. Run the right side slanted forward and the left side slanted backwards. And the thing will never twist. You won't believe how strong the thing will be. Put it together
That's
with
a great
white glue.
idea.
It's like
That is
building a
good.
dragster frame when you do that.
Yeah, put it together on diagonal. Put it together with white glue. Forget all this fancy glue. And just enjoy the heck out of it, because you'll build it. I guarantee you your fuselage will be an ounce lighter. It's weird how much. I mean, you got to really gut it, but I gut the fool out of it. But then you put it together and take it out and fly it, and everybody says, "Why does yours fly so much better than mine?" Go pick mine up. It probably weighs. The guy that was talking to me about it, one of our guys went over and picked mine up, and picked his up. He said, "My God, I know what the difference is."
The weight. Has anyone built an actual Fancherized twister from Walter Umland's laser cut kit from Walt?
No.
Kit? I got one of those in the kit stash over there too.
I know Steve
that ought
Hines
to be a
will
really
argue.
nice plane.
Steve Hines will argue with me, but I like the Banshee better than the Twister. Really?
I am building a Banshee right now, but it don't look anything like a Banshee.
Oh, my Banshee was built as dead stock SIG, Mike stop plans.
It's a good wing, but other than that,
Yeah, it's a good wing. I'm building a Spitfire out of one.
Yeah, you can throw the rest of it away, as far as I'm concerned.
They're hideously ugly.
I built the wing and then put I did Sparky's trick with a little spar, the string in it. It's not string.
That's what the
Teflon.
Junkyard Dog has.
Yeah, I put that in it, and then I covered it in polyspan, and it ain't going to twist, and it's pretty straight.
So the Banshee's nose is too long.
Yeah.
The tail is too short.
Yeah, guarantee you that.
And the stab and elevator are too short too.
Yeah,
flaps are too little.
I've got my dad to thank. I've got my dad to thank for me building a Twister at 14 and not a Banshee, because there was a Twister kit and a Banshee kit at Joe's Hobby Shop in Detroit, in the fall of whatever year it was, and I wanted one of those things so bad. I just, because I was flying Ringmasters at the time and some other profile stuff, and I wanted one of those kits to build so bad. And I love the Banshee. I thought it looked bigger and cooler, with the rounded tips and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And my old man,
it is a better looking airplane.
It is.
I give it that. It is a better looking airplane. Totally. It just doesn't fly with it. Damn.
Too small.
He pulled the Christmas Story trick on me at Christmas one year, and all the presents were gone. And he did the old, "Hey, what's behind the couch over there" thing. And I went behind the couch and I pulled it out, and it was a Twister kit. It was a Twister kit from Joe's Hobby Shop. He picked the Twister over the Banshee. And I think I got started on that thing on Christmas Day. I went downstairs in the basement and cleared off a spot. And the other thing that makes it so memorable, I was really into, well, still am, heavy metal at the time. And that Christmas, I got a couple of Judas Priest cassettes and a couple of Iron Maiden cassettes. And I put those cassettes in my boombox and went down in my basement and rocked out to the new metal in 1982 and built my Twister down there in the basement.
That's awesome.
I want to do another one the same way. As I recall, I think I did not use the silk span in the kit. I went to Joe's and bought a couple yards of yellow silk, and I actually covered it in real silk.
Wow.
Back when you could
Don't
buy
tell
it,
me,
yeah.
Mike. Don't tell me, Mike. It was British Steel and Number of the Beast, right?
It was Number of the Beast and Screaming for Vengeance.
Screaming for Vengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Judas Priest live with Anthrax one year.
Oh yeah, they were here like 3 years ago on their last. They played the entire British Steel album in its entirety, and
yeah, my wife says, "You want to get floor tickets?" I'm like, "No."
No, we old guys don't sit on the floor, man. We need a chair up off the floor. We need to be sitting up in the bowl. I don't mind being far away because I'm not going down there and
I
all
want
that.
a place to set my beer, and I don't want people bouncing off of me.
There you go. There you go.
All I want is the silk span out of the kit.
do they even put it in there anymore? Do they even
Most
No.
of them don't.
I doubt
it. Well, let me open this one up I got from Tom Brightbill. Let's see what's in there.
All right.
John,
The
you,
RSM doesn't.
John, you and I are getting too old. You and I are getting too old because I know I used to play and sing in a group, and when it got to when the heavy metal came in, all you had to do was play loud and scream. That's when I gave it up.
What did you play, Phil? Like Leonard Skinner type music?
We played everything. We played
Yeah.
everything, whatever people want to dance to.
Guitar.
Made it.
I used to play.
Oh man, that's pretty.
It's just wrapped in cellophane, and I had a bad experience with one guy that shipped me a kit like this, man. It came all busted to hell. I always double box stuff when I send it out. I make a box to put this in, but this one made it okay. I only had one bad experience with one that wasn't double boxed, and
Oh, we haven't opened this one yet. Let's see.
So guys, we're about to hear the cherry pop.
Yeah,
I bought one of those.
well,
I bought one off.
it's kind of wrapped in bubble wrap. So actually, this isn't bad because it's pretty spongy. It's kind of bubble
I bought
wrap.
one of those off the internet that was supposed to be a estate sale, and he said he didn't know anything about model airplanes. A good thing, because when I got it, the plans weren't there. It was not the plane. It was just a box of scrap wood. It wasn't even. There's no ribs in it. Nothing.
Wow, that's dirty.
This thing came from California. Charles, this could have been yours, man. You could have had local pickup on this thing, probably, man.
Yeah, I think Tom Brightbill lives a little bit too far north from me, though.
Yeah, Brea, California.
Yeah.
Wow,
He's
that is
halfway
up there.
between you and me, Charles.
That's not that far north of you.
Come on, like Sparky says, Charles will only fly those big, heavy lumber wagons anyway.
Yeah.
Here's what I love the most. You can tell.
Opening a new kit box.
Hold on. Before we get there, I love this. This was on a kit shelf with other kits on it. And there was one kit that was a little bit shorter than this one, and this edge was sticking out in his shop.
Oh, yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, it's got all the smoke and the dust and the sand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he had another one sitting on top of this one.
I can see the color change.
Hey, you guys, Jack Snavely says, good evening, guys.
Hello,
Good evening, Jack.
Hi,
Hey,
Jack.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, good
Hi,
to be here
Jack.
at the airport.
Hey, Jack.
Yeah, Lynn, silk span, buddy.
I called this.
Thanks, man.
Look at that.
All right.
The
there.
real deal. There it
Is it
is.
white or is it yellow?
This one, yeah, she was still taped shut all the way. I don't think
Just
he ever even
Opened
took
it.
out to inspect it. Folded point.
Wow. There we go.
Let me see if I can do it without dumping everything out.
Now, don't put it out. Looks good.
If you take everything out of that box, you'll never get it all back in.
No, I won't.
That's right. Don't take it out.
Oh my God! I think Connie is the one that inspected my twister kit back in the 80s too.
Give her a call.
Connie's
See
been-
if she's open for a date there, Mike.
Connie's 160 years old.
One of my favorite things about
She's been inspecting kits for 140 years.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about opening a new balsa wood kit is the smell of the wood.
Well, you know what? There's one rib missing. I bet he took a rib out of this and made rib.
Well, the thing of it is,
Len,
they're
you
all alike.
keep saying you're missing. You need silk span. Are you out of this stuff, or are you just jerking everyone's chain?
No, it's hard to get. That's what it is.
Well,
Good silk span is
and
hard to get.
That's the good stuff from back in the day, man.
Have you tried
Yeah.
the decent doctor paper?
I'm going to try that next. That's what I'm going to try on my two latest airplanes. I've got that roll of it downstairs. I'm going to try it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because if you didn't,
Hopefully
have
it'll
some,
work
send me
good.
a roll.
Yeah, no, I got a roll. We're going to give it a go. It should be fine.
Yeah,
No.
it worked exactly the same. No
Okay,
difference.
that's good. Because you and I compared our rolls on here one night, and they were identical.
Yeah, right.
So it should be good. Okay, I'm glad to hear it worked good.
No original price tag, unfortunately. I like that. I like seeing the original price tags on
Mine
them.
was $14.50.
Low prices, yeah, like $7.
$7.95.
Yeah, exactly.
I think in the 80s these twisters were running about like $29 or something, or maybe $24.
I think that's what I paid for my first one. It was about $30 or $40.
Well, they're only 42 now.
They're 87
Yeah.
on SIG's website.
No.
Yeah, they're way up there.
87?
Pushing two.
Yeah,
they're about $140 Canadian by the time you get them up here.
What? All
Yeah,
right.
you guys got to really want
Banshee, whatever it is, I think the Banshee's like $4 more.
Y'all gonna make a liar out of me, but I gotta look.
81 or maybe it's 51. I remember they're pretty expensive.
I was looking at my SIG Chipmunk box the other day, and the price tag's still on it. $14.95 in 1972.
That thing's $112 now.
I got one of those.
$61.
Not the super
61 and 65, I think.
61 and 65.
Okay.
Wow, they did jack them up because they were like $42 forever.
I know they were cheap.
Well, SIG's got to pay for their balsa wood fire last year.
Yeah, too bad because it's all redwood now.
Yeah, everywhere. I can't get any balsa. I've given up on it. Looking at alternates, looking into carbon fiber maybe.
I don't think anybody can get decent balsa wood right now because there isn't any available.
Well, it's all going to make these darn windmills.
Well, apparently they're stopping doing that, but I don't know what the effects of that are going to be or how long that'll take. Who knows?
I've heard they've been using foam here lately. For the
They're using the stuff that I saw a thing on the internet about it, and they were using the same stuff they build airplane floors out of. It looks like honeycomb.
It's that aluminum expandable honeycomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got enough kits in the basement. I don't need any balsa for a while.
Hey, Mike, that twister on Brodex 8416.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
I need a whole crap load of really good balsa for when I go into my L-Ray Sea Fury. That's going to take a lot. I've got
You can get
a short kit.
Yeah.
You can get a Banshee for 97.
Woo.
Yeah, but you can buy it from SIG for 65.
Where did you
Right?
get?
Yeah, they're $20 cheaper on SIG. He's got
to get your L-Ray Sea Fury
from Walt Umland. Picked it up about 2 years ago, just before he moved. It was the last kit he put out before he moved. So I was super thrilled with the service. I didn't expect to get it for a hell of a long time.
give Walt a call. I've got his Bearcat BBQB and the Mustang, and I just took the Mustang and traced all the parts, and then when got that one done, I took and had it blown up to 120% and built the big Mustang.
Okay.
Mine don't look as good as his does on the internet. He's a master, but I'm telling you, those are good flying airplanes. I've never even got a sniff at a Sea Fury, but
I've
like
lusted
for
for Sea Fury since I first saw the articles of Al's in 1973, an American aircraft modeler. Still got the articles, and I always wanted one. It just inspired me so much for his aerodynamic study. Really got me going into the science of it.
Yeah, that's the thing he strapped on the side of his car.
And what he was doing with engines and stuff, so I'd start tearing them apart. So basically, he gave me, he was an inspiration towards a couple of my careers, cabinet making and flying.
Well, he's got me. He's the one that got me molding. He's got me he's the one that got me into doing molded stuff. And I mean, I got a Ringmaster. It's got a 1/16 molded leading edge. Most everything I do now is molded.
Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
Al Raby.
Al Raby.
Al Raby.
Oh, Al Raby, yeah.
Al, if you ever meet him and talk to him, he's kind of hard to get to know. And until he gets to know you, he's not going to tell you a whole lot. But once he gets to know you, man, he'll tell you anything you want to know. And if he says it, it's like my broker's E.F. Hutton, huh? You better pay attention because it's right.
I haven't talked to him, voice to voice, but I've done a bunch of email and stuff with him. And before he put them out freebie online, I bought the set of DVDs from him and stuff too. I wanted good quality. And he was just very helpful and generous and friendly.
He's a great guy.
That's what we're pretty fortunate. The contests we go to, there's a lot of talent there. Like
that's the truth.
I get to pick Randy Smith's brain a couple times a year and talk to him about engine stuff. And of course, you can always call him on the phone, and then Tom Dixon too, thing. And then as far as flyers, Derek Barry, I see him quite a bit. So there's it's good that guys are willing to pass that stuff on, because the way I understand it, I've read some articles on Stunt Hangar back in the day that the stunt like guys wouldn't give up their secrets, man. How they got a good engine run and their building techniques and all. That was all top secret stuff, man. You don't share that stuff with anybody.
Well, based on Al's critical mass, I'd picked up a Sato 91 for a damn good price, like $50. Thing was like,
oh, good Lord.
But talking with Al, he said, for God's sakes, don't run it. That was a mistake. The thing's like just a brick on the nose. So he said, get a Jet 76 or maybe
that's
a
right.
Jet.
That's right.
Yeah,
too much motor.
I don't know what I'm going to do with.
What do you have?
Sato 91.
Oh, okay. I got 2 Rojet 90s.
Whoa.
They're big monsters.
I'll raise you 2 PA 61s and a PA 75.
Well, I've got one of each of the PAs, everything Randy's built, but I don't have 2 of any of them.
I got 2
look at how good.
Except the 51, Phil. That's the
I'm
one I
happy
don't
with
have.
the 3515.
Yeah. What's that, John?
Now, you look at Al back in
35-15.
73, 72, he, won 2 Nats and a Walker Cup with the Sea Fury with the Super Tiger 60, but he'd hop them up and run the shit out of them. And he only got maybe, 100 flights out of them, if that.
Yeah, keep in mind, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, throwing on a better engine, it's got to really perform on something newer.
Well, Jet 76 is a really good motor.
It
a
is.
Jet anything's a really good motor.
And so is the PA, and I bought into all that. They're like, if you're going to fly stunt, you buy a PA or a Jet or you go electric.
Right. Exactly. I agree.
Or
stalkers are pretty good. Stalkers are good.
Or stalker.
Yeah, stalkers are good. Yeah.
Unless you're nostalgic and you want pain and trouble when you go fly, you fly that old stuff, man. There's no reason to do it.
Well, for now, for my budget and what I've got sitting in the drawers and in the noses, I'm going to stick with those 56s for the SB11s. And then I've got a shitload of 46s, a couple of FX 46s and AX, 2 or 3 Super Tiger 46s. I got no shortage of half-ass decent engines in that category.
Have you run the 46AX? I just won one of those in a raffle, a brand new 46AX in the box. I won it for like a $5 raffle ticket. And I got it for an RC plane, actually. It's going in a Mustang that we picked up at a swap meet. But I don't have any experience with the AX. It should be a good little powerhouse, though, right?
I've run them in an RC.
Mine's a new one also that I got for, basically free. I think I paid $25 for it. I was at a swap meet for RC cars. This guy showed up with airplanes and nobody wanted anything. I picked up that 88-inch yellow aircraft 1/5 scale Spitfire. No engine or prop or a spinner, but it's got the retracts, the radio, the works. I got that for $100.
Good grief. The retracts are worth that.
The engines I was grabbing for, 20, 25, $50 for really good stuff. So, it was being at the right place at the right time because the guy was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
I love RC swap meets for just that reason, man. And then at the end of the day, you can walk up and get them like dirt cheap. It's where I buy all my LAs, my 46s and 20s.
Most definitely. Me too. Yeah.
Len, you said you ran a 46AX in an RC plane?
I ran it in a Nexstar.
Nexstar.
Okay. Yeah, Nexstar. And it was great. It was perfect. A great engine for that, but I wouldn't put it in a stunter for anything. Just
no.
Too heavy.
This is going in a 46 size Mustang RC.
Yeah, no, it'll be perfect. It'll be
RC.
good.
Yeah.
Good motor. Really good motor. Very reliable.
How much break
In
in?
my Shark 45, I'm probably going to put in a 46 FX.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
not
guys,
very
I'm gonna
much, Mike.
Guys, I'm gonna get out of here, but I'm gonna leave you with one. If you see somebody at the field and they come out and they're flying and they're starting to have this engine run is lean, the next engine run is rich, and everybody's thinking, okay, he's got crap in his tank, he's got crap in his needle valve, he's got all this other. Go give the guy 4 ounces of fuel or 6 ounces of fuel, good fuel, and let him run. Because 90% of the time when the guys have problems like that running, their darn fuel's gone bad.
Yeah, especially in the summer. You're right.
You leave a plastic tank, a plastic can of fuel, which most of it now comes in plastic. You leave that sitting on asphalt for 4 hours. It's done.
Yeah, because it sucks all the water.
Yeah,
I took a couple of metal acetone or lacquer thin or whatever cans, the rectangular ones, and relabeled them for my fuel so that on my field box, so that I don't have the plastic tank sitting out there.
Yeah, well, I used to see Bear at the Nationals with his fuel in this cardboard box, and I couldn't stand it. So I said, Bear, if I was to make you a wooden box and send it to you, would you use it? Well, he got sick and passed before he ever got to use it. But somebody ended up with a nice fuel box. I have the twin to it downstairs. His had a bear and had a Kodiak bear with the claws coming across like used to be on some kind of skull product. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, chewing tobacco or something. Had it all drawn on there real nice and just said bear on it. But I never got to see him use it, and I never heard from him. So I don't think, knowing Bear, if he got it, he would have acknowledged it, because he was that's just the kind of guy that he was. But
so cardboard box is bad.
Cardboard box will work fine. Something to keep it off the ground.
Off the ground. Okay.
Yeah,
and
keep
out
it
of
off
the
the
sunlight, because I heard the sun is what kills the nitromethane in it.
Yeah, the sunlight too. Yeah.
What you do if you want to do it right, build you a little plywood box. Put rubber feet on it to keep it off the ground, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, whatever they are. And then, just like Bear always did, have a white towel sitting over the top of it to cover the fuel, keep the sun off of it.
The sun
or
off
use a metal, or you use a metal can.
Yeah.
But just keep the sun off of it and keep it off concrete. It just kills the fuel. And these guys go out and don't know this, and they go out and they beat and fram, and one runs lean. That'll work. One
That's
runs
what
lean.
I did was just put a metal can on the end of my
Yeah,
fuel box.
that'll work.
Or my
But they just beat and fram. We lose more guys because they just get so agitated because they can't make it work. Help somebody out, crying out loud. It don't hurt us any, and it helps them.
Our fuel never goes bad because I brew all our own. I make all our own for everything. And when we go with Sam flying and putting in 16 flights and me putting in 10, we burn 3/4 of a gallon every time we go. I got to make fuel just about every time. We take
not around long enough
when we go, but I make it fresh every time.
Well,
that's not around long enough.
Yeah.
Or another thing that to tell the guys too is that they're running Foxes. Modern people, they seem to say, "Oh, Foxes are so damned hard to start and they're not reliable and everything."
I don't have a
What I always did with them, I don't put my thumb over the intake and try and prime it that way. When I'm fueling it with the squeeze bulb, when it's full, I put my finger over the vent and squeeze it a bit more and get fuel right through the line to the Venturi, and they fire right up.
Yeah. If you see me at a contest and I flip more than twice, I'll call an attempt and pull it off. Mine usually starts first flip.
I don't run into that problem too much with not running any nitro and synthetic oil, but with the stalker. But I understand what you're saying. I've seen that happen. A lot of guys don't really learn how to start an engine properly either.
No, they don't. They don't have a clue what they're doing, and they go out there and get so frustrated that they
put the.
Oh yeah, that's the best way.
Oh my God, that just scares me. Oh.
I have 2 electric starters and I've never used them.
That's why I had to learn how to start PAs, man, because Randy Smith would kick my ass if you ever saw me put an electric
starter on
one of his motors, because there's motors.
Well,
I don't need to.
That's the reason I put my thumb on the spinner and I put my fingertip on the prop and just pull it back toward me this way and get it the heck out of the way, because those PAs will bite you. And that carbon fiber that's a carbon fiber bologna slicer. Your finger is the bologna.
Yeah,
that's right.
But I always take
I picked up one of those armored gloves that chefs use for starting with.
I used that for a
Don't
while,
know how
and
well
it still
it works.
hurts.
Probably still break your finger, but
it still
it hurts a lot.
Use one of those silicone things we put between the manifold and the pipe, and put it on your middle finger, and then put your thumb on the spinner, and spin it with that, and it'll fire first time. I mean, you get the hang of it. Your middle finger's got enough leverage. I guess it's, but you got enough. You got never mind. You get enough prop with that. I can go up in most of my engines, whether it be a PA or a Sato or a Fox 35 or a Fox 59. I give them 8 flips through. If it's a cold engine, I'll come up and put my finger on the vent. 8 flips with my finger on the prop, with my finger on the vent, and then 8 flips with it wide open, everything open. 2 flips backwards, 1 flip forwards, put the battery on there, start counting. You want to count to about 10 or 12, but go ahead and give your signal to the judges.
Everybody has their routine.
Time you give the okay signal, flip that thing and away it goes. Well, I watched
routine is everything. Routine is everything.
I watched Bear do that. I watched Al Raby do that. I watched several of the top guys do it, and I said, well, they're all doing the same thing or very close to the same thing. I said, by George, I ain't real smart, but I know if it works, try it. So I did. And everybody says, how do you get all these motors to crank first flip? That's how. You do the same thing every time, and it works.
Yeah, exactly. Routine is everything.
Yeah, I flip backwards through compression, but not through compression.
Not through compression.
Just bounce it back on the compression backwards.
That's what I do. Just back to it. Get that finger out of the way.
4 strokes, though, he said there's no way he's doing it by hand. He always used the electric and just had a spinner for display.
Roy Trantham always told me there's 2 kinds of people that put their fingers in a motor. The kind that are stupid and the kinds that are missing fingers. Roy always used a starter, and I thought the world of Roy, but I've never used a starter. I have one in my box, but I've never put it on. You won't find one of my spinners with a cone mark on it. Yeah, I've never used the darn thing. But anyhow,
I got 2 of them.
Yeah.
One set up for spinners, one for props, and I've never used them.
I use a starter on my half-egg combat motors on my Profis just because it's easier. Because they're really finicky, man. If you don't have them primed and aerated if you got them just right, it's one hit and they'll go, but it's a bladder. But if you don't and you flood it, you got to put the electric finger on it for that.
Yeah,
but you want to talk about some pucker factor, starting a Nelson 36 on a bladder. When you're not holding the airplane, you don't have any. Your helper is 2-handing the airplane, and you're working a bladder and hitting a Nelson. Man, the first time I ever started one of those, I was scared to death, man. And you better trust the guy holding the airplane that he's not doing anything stupid, and it's not lean and surgent, where they go ring, 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 and moving back and forth like that.
I tell you how stupid I was. Now you know these guys. I can't remember the guy's name. But at Huntersville, one of the guys got his finger hit, and he got his hand all bandaged up, and he really needed to go to the hospital. Hard head wouldn't go. So I said, well, let me crank the motor. You don't need to be hitting the propeller with that hand. So I went out there, and I did just what you're saying. I took it, and he said, just smack it. Don't try to start it like a stunner. And I learned real quick, because you're right. That thing goes from 0 to 9,000 RPM so quick you can't believe it. But anyway, I popped that thing one time, and it surged. It scared the crap out of me because I was right in front of that thing.
Was this recently? Was this last year or the year before?
Year before last, I think.
I know who got cut. I won't say his name, but I know who it was. It wasn't me. I still got all mine.
I started the motor 3 times.
Yeah.
I never got hit, but they asked me, did I want to pit for them the next summer? I said, I'm a stunt flyer. Those things will eat you.
Well, and that's why it's important. Like Len said, there's a procedure, and you got to follow it every time. You got to bleed test those combat motors to make sure you got enough fuel so that it starts a little fat, so that it's rich.
Yeah.
If it's too lean, then it's going to do that. And if the guy ain't holding the airplane, he's moving it 3 or 4 inches, and you've just finished and you're getting the glow plug off. And if he's doing this with the airplane, and on a Nelson, it's even worse, man, because they pull like Christ. I don't even know how much.
I think this wasn't it. It was fast combat because he let go of it. It was half a lap around the circle before I could figure out what was going on. I said, "Ain't no way."
But yeah, you can't. You got to have your procedure, and you cannot deviate from it. And your pit guy better know to hold on.
To do.
No matter. And after starting a Nelly, I don't ever needle it from around front. I go around inside, take the plug off, and then I'll needle it.
That's what I did. Walked to the wingtip and reached in from there.
At competitions, do they not? Can you not use electric starter, or it's just frowned upon, or what?
Well, you would never put an electric starter on a Nelson.
Right. Well, I'm just talking about
it's like a PA
for stunt. I'm talking about for stunt.
Yeah, you can use them. You can use them.
You could use them, but no, to me, it's just a matter of pride. If my motor doesn't start first flip, like say, if I don't start in 2 flips, I walk off the field. I'll go over and find out what's wrong.
No, I do have some older KMBs that Sam has on some profiles and stuff that don't like, no matter how you prime them or how you choke them or how you aerate them, they're just not going to go. You know what I mean?
You're talking about a K&B.
Yeah, exactly. And when they're hot, they're not going to start. So I don't mind putting them on anything under a 35, 20, 25, or a 35 that's cantankerous. I'll spin the heck out of it. I don't care. But
I just don't want to put a starter on a $400 or $500 motor.
No, I would not do that here. I'm agreed 100%. And I don't think
I don't have any $400 or $500 motors, so I'm fine.
Like I say, I have one of everything Randy's built, and from the 36 to the 40 light to the 40 to the 51 to the 61, 65, and 75. And now I don't have anything bigger than 75. I got rid of those. I had 2 of them, and I got rid of those. But 91, just to me, that just seems too darn big. A 75 about pulled me off my feet.
Hey, and it's only too big if I can't beat you with it.
I made up my mind if it's. I made up my mind if it's so big that a 65 won't fly, I don't need to be flying it.
That's the thing. Len, you're flying, 90-ounce airplanes, man. So you need those big motors.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
80 ounces, I think you said.
Yeah,
80. Yeah.
The biggest one I got is 88.
9 Canadian.
88 ounces, 14-inch carbon fiber Trion prop.
Oh, my God.
Is that Canadian ounces or U.S. ounces?
Same difference.
Oh, well, anyway,
it's
guys,
too
I'll
many
see you Friday.
Either way. Take it easy, buddy.
The only real difference in ounces is our beer.
Well, if I don't see you, I'll see you at Canton, man.
All right. I'll be there Friday at least to pick up my stuff. I don't know if I'll be staying or not. Take care.
Good night,
Phil.
Phil.
Good night.
Mike, I agree with you. The first time I started a Nelson, I felt like I was hand feeding a shark.
Yeah. And, hey.
Hey, the first time I held one, I held one for my buddy Larry. The first time I ever saw one was here in Nashville, probably in 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
Larry Davis, the guy that got me into combat, he's like, all right, so this is not an LA 25 or an LA 40 or a Super Tiger 35. We've been flying all that stuff. So I knew the procedure for starting on a bladder and launching and all that. But he's like, this is a beast, man. He's like, you got to hold the airplane and don't let it move. Even if it surges, you got to keep it in one place. Don't move it. You can't let it do this because you'll cut my arm off. And he said, if it throws this is what scared me the most. He said, if it throws a blade, just throw the airplane away from you. That's what he told me to do. He's like,
yep.
Let me get out of the way and throw the airplane away from you. And I was scared to death, man.
Yeah,
But then you do it a couple of times and it's good, and then he's like, okay, you want to fly it. You got to start it, though, because you can't pass a Nelson, man.
You can't.
It's not like he could start the airplane and then I pass it to him and I go to the hand. He's like, you got to start it if you're going to fly it.
Yeah, Ronnie Cash told me, he says, hey, Jeff, he says, come launch my plane. and I've been launching, Fox Mark 4s, Mark 6s, 80-mile-an-hour stuff. And yeah, okay. He fired that thing up, and I was on my heels trying to stop it.
Wow.
Yeah. I
And
wear
he
ear
stood there.
protection.
He stood there and laughed at me.
I wear ear protection with a Nelson now. I don't start one without having earplugs in. Even my Propies, my half A049s, I wear ear because it's so high pitched and just so whiny. And I started to develop tinnitus over the last 3 or 4 years. And,
What?
Yeah. Hey,
Hey, what? I can't hear you.
Man,
So, John, I see you got the star of the show out there in your lap now, eh?
You got Captain Kitty Cat.
Are you talking about John? John Miller?
Yeah.
What's that? Oh, my buddy here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the star of the show. What's his
Yeah,
name?
he's being very insistent to be on my lap right now. He's about
Yeah,
12
we got
years
4
old.
of them that run the house.
He's about 12 years old. His name is Indiana Jones.
Uh-huh.
Indiana.
We'll call him
Be Indiana
Fluffy.
Miller, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Indiana Miller. Indiana Miller.
Anyway, he thinks he's pretty hot stuff. Poor guy's got arthritis in his hips, so he's slowing down.
Don't we all?
Yeah, that's true.
We had a guy looked a lot like that a few years ago. We had to put him down, but he was about 23 pounds, and there wasn't really any fat on him. He was just a big cat and the biggest suck-up pussy you could imagine.
I've got
We had
one
a
like that
little
in the
cat
other
that would
room.
beat the crap out of him, and all he had to do was sit on her, and he'd just take it from her, the little bitch.
I got one like that in the other room. He's about 19 pounds, and he's about, nose to tail. He's over 3 foot long, maybe 4, and he's, that tall. Just a big cat. And I got a little female. She was a run of her litter. She's only about that long and about that tall, and she rules the roost. She whips on them all.
We got one of those too, a little runts. All of ours are rescues, and she's just figures she should rule the roost. So one of our cats has a hate on for her, so she stalks her and beats the crap out of the little thing. But then she bitches at her again and gets beat up again.
Yeah.
Small,
When
good thing she's really cute.
When did
because
Bill
she's got
Cole
no
leave?
brains.
I didn't see Bill leave.
I didn't either, and I didn't see.
Yeah, I didn't see Bill leave either.
And I was going to ask Peter how his Saginaw's coming along.
What's that?
Sorry.
That's okay. It sounds great.
Well, Charles, you're not on Facebook. I was wondering if you wanted to see my legacy flight.
Oh, I would love to see it.
I was trying.
Yeah,
and
let's do that.
We'll try it and see if the video is going to be okay or not.
Watch it turn out of the reverse wing over.
Jitsi has a link says share a YouTube video. Have you ever tried that?
No, it's not on YouTube. It's on Facebook. I'm going to have to share it the other way. But if the video's all spotty and it looks like crap, we'll squash it. We'll squash it if it's not. Because I know sometimes when you're trying to share a video, it doesn't look good. But let's just see here what happens.
Well, guys, I'm going to have to sign off myself. And
all right, Robert. Yeah, we're going to be signing off pretty soon.
Catch you guys later. I'll give you updates on how the contest goes this weekend.
All right, Robert.
All right, Rob.
Thanks for coming in.
Take it easy, Robert.
Is that being shared?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's start it over. Watch my reverse.
All right.
Combat flare. He ain't afraid of the ground.
Nice.
Not a bit.
Is the video playing okay, or is it all jumpy?
All jumpy.
It's a little jumpy, but it looks. I mean, you can figure
We're
out.
getting
what's
it.
going on.
Doing octagons there.
Octagons? Oh.
Stop signs.
They're fine. It's just because it's jumpy.
I know.
I kind of think that old Legacy flight's pretty good, actually.
This is the
really
boring,
good.
the boring 6 laps inverted.
What motor you got in that?
That's a PA 61.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's 62-foot lines. The airplane is 63 ounces.
Cool.
I think I got some low squares here, some low outside squares drawn, if I remember right.
You did.
So far, so good.
This was my second flight on the airplane.
Wow.
So the first one was a shakedown flight, and this was the first pattern I've flown this year.
Yeah, you didn't have any top on your square. It looked like you were coming down before you went across.
Yeah, I did. It's my second flight, Len. Give me a break, man.
I am. I'm teasing you.
Watch this. Watch this.
I pull a lot of D's too instead of squares.
Whew.
So that field is our local RC club that's like 20 minutes from the house.
Nice.
Cool.
And we go fly there on weekdays because nobody's there. We don't fly at this one on weekends because RC guys are all out there. I got to work on Sam's camera skills a little bit.
It's not bad.
Well, I keep telling him, I'm like, dude, you know the pattern. You should know where the airplane's going.
No, exactly. It's not like
every time, you know.
And have him bring the camera up to where your bottom of your feet are at the bottom of the frame.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help the trees in the background there. Everything's kind of blending in.
You made a mistake there on your exit from your square 8. A lot of people make the same one on that. They make that last turn. They don't go all the way up to where the first turn of the would be to come out of it. So it looks like they flying through the middle of their pattern.
Yeah. First hourglass of the year coming up right there.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Intersection looks pretty good.
Nice.
I got a little nervous here.
Why is that?
You'll hear it.
Afraid it was going to run out of fuel.
Yeah. Well, because I screwed around on the front end for almost a minute getting a needle on it. But I knew it was going to make it because it gives me plenty of warning. So anyway, that's it. You don't need to see the landing.
Cool. Very nice. Sounds nice. I love how it sounds.
Nice engine run.
Yeah, figuring it out, man. Still figuring out the PAs, man. I'm no expert by any means, but
Was that a side exhaust PA?
no, that's piped PA.
It sounded pretty clean.
I got a lot of help, man. I was, Derek Berry and Steve Fitton. I was messaging those guys during the day and during the shakedown flights and all that stuff. So
very nice.
It's nice to have good help.
Oh, absolutely.
I have a PA 61, but I'm still waiting for the pipe from Randy. He's supposed to be sending it to me, but I still haven't got it.
Borders are closed. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, I just talked to him because he actually messaged me about some 3-bladed props, some carbon fibers for the Aero Tiger. He's got some 12.4 narrows in, which is a good prop for the Aero Tiger cut down. and because I told him I wanted some, so he messaged me, and I spoke to him on the phone the other day, and I wanted to get a couple of pipes and some other props because I'm still trying to put packages together for all these motors. I want a pipe for everything. I want a prop, 2 props for everything, just so that when I build stuff, it's ready to. I got
Ready to go.
Not chasing stuff down. He didn't have any 61 or 65 pipes. He was getting ready to make them.
Okay.
And he just finished making 75 pipes, but they were all spoken for. But he said the 65s and the 61 pipes were, he had mandrels made up and they were coming soon.
Okay.
So I don't know if we had any from the last batch that are on the way to you.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm just hanging in, waiting.
Well,
I have a comment, you guys. I have a comment I want to share with you guys. This is by Ronnie Layden. He says, "Good show, a lot of good stuff."
All right. Hey, Ron, how you doing? Len, since you don't have a pipe for that 61, man, just send it to me, man.
Hey, Peter.
I'll give you 200 Canadian. I'll give you 200 Canadian for it.
Canadian?
How's the Saginaw coming along?
I'll trade you 2 Foxes for it.
I bet you would. Jeff wouldn't.
I'll take those 2 Foxes and I'll raise you 1 more.
There you go.
Peter, can you hear me?
Yep.
How's the Saginaw coming?
It's coming.
Hey, Pete, you start the wing yet?
I just got.
Let me click on him, you guys.
That is the
the jig.
Yep.
Right.
There it is. That's the wing jig.
Very good.
Pitter patter.
So like I said, the fuselage is coming along. I gotta finish that up. I just got a whole bunch of stuff from Brodak. I figured I've got to order it. 440 blind nuts instead of the 440 nuts and bolts that they said for the
Oh yeah.
for the engine mounts.
Did you get the Allen head bolts too?
Oh yeah, I'm only going with the Allen heads, socket head bolts, nuts, and blind nuts.
Yeah, very good.
I don't use. I have not used regular screw head bolts for engine mounts, and I don't know how long.
Probably since you was a
for
kid.
like the 36 that's going into that airplane, I'm using 440, but typically for anything larger, I usually use a 632 or maybe an 832.
Now I use 440. I use 440 even on my big engines.
Okay, you can do that. I have not. I've just gotten one size larger for the big engines. I've got a bunch of those already, but they would not work on this airplane. So I just got that this week. So I'm going to be diving in. Also, I picked up some insecure, like super thin CA.
Keep it cold.
That's a nice size bottle. What size ounce is that?
That's 2 ounces.
Nice.
Keep it cold.
Yeah,
Keep it cold.
Keep it
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah,
leave it in the fridge.
you can keep it cold once as long as it's closed, but as soon as it's open, it's
Yeah, then you got to keep it in the fridge.
Yeah, I keep it chilled. I just use a pipette and then put it back in the freezer.
Yeah.
But that's basically more or less is going to be for the wing construction, and the other parts in the fuselage is so far is all epoxy, and it's going to be wood glue for most of the fuselage construction. Because I don't need anything that's going to be setting that fast. Plus, the fuselage has got like just too big of pieces of balsa wood that has to be dealt with. So I'm going to keep that either epoxy and wood glue. I thought I ordered some razor saws, but I did not in that order. Oh well. But I'm just going to drill the motor mounts, put that on, put the balsa wood on the other side, sand that all down, and then I'm going to start on the wing. And of course, I'm just like putting off the sanding because I hate sanding. I can't sand indoors, and it's been raining every day to sand outdoors. But then I'll sand it down, and then I'll once the fuselage is done, do the wing, the stab, the elevator, the vertical stab. Once I get all those pieces all shaped, then I'm going to start covering a monocoat before I do the assembly. And that's going to be interesting because I have not quite figured out basically a graphics scheme for it yet.
Yeah.
Which I will figure out at some point. Of course, it's going to be all monocoat. So at least when I start doing the monocoat job on it, then I'll start. When we have one of these get-togethers, I shall turn around and try to give a tutorial on how to monocoat so you don't get wrinkles.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And I mean, across the fuselage, like I said, the whole thing's going to be monocoat, fuselage, wings, the whole 9 yards.
As long as when the junkyard dog gets closer, I'll do a airbrush tutorial.
Cool.
Hey guys, Mike Wonky wants to say something.
Yeah, I was just putting my hand up. Bill was talking about motor mounts there. I'm sorry. Peter was talking about drilling the motor mounts and stuff. Little tip I picked up from Joe Gilbert when I was talking to him about building and putting PA engines in stunt planes. And I actually did this in the SV, in the ARF. He said to make
here.
Let me see. Yeah, there we go.
To
make little standoffs out of brass tubing.
Right.
Okay, so a little standoff out of brass tubing. So you over drill your motor mount to accept the brass tubing for the thickness of the motor mount from the top to the bottom.
Right.
And then when you put this standoff in, and then your blind nut will fit right in there. The male end of the blind nut will fit in the brass tubing. And if you make it exactly the width of the motor mount, or even just shy, you won't crush the motor. You won't ever crush the motor mount.
Right. Yeah,
that's a great idea.
Okay, so it's kind of hard to get the exact length. I had a lot of trial and error to do that, but you can do it. And like I said, if you got enough meat in your engine crutch, where you know how sometimes your mounting holes are right on the edge.
Yeah, the crankcase is right against it.
Right, but if you got enough meat and you can put that standoff in there, 4 of them the same size, you will never crush your motor mount because you're bolting your metal to metal. You got a good platform on both sides. That was a tip that Joe Gilbert gave me this summer at the Nats when I was talking to him. And I did that on the SV11 ARF because, the Chinese wood isn't known for being – I don't even know what they use for engine bearers in there, but it sure ain't maple. It's not super hard. Every ARF I've ever owned from Brodak, you always – as soon as you go a half a turn past tight, the wood starts sucking in on them, and that will stop that from happening. So,
Mike, do you
what a great idea.
Well, Joe Gilbert knows what he's talking about, I think, man.
Very good.
No, he asked if he epoxied them in.
No, after I over drilled the hole for the brass, I just hardened the hole with some CA. Just wick some thin CA down in there to harden the hole. And then I tapped them in with a dead blow hammer, a plastic hammer, so you don't deform the edges or anything.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Just tap them right in, and yeah, great idea. Stand off on your motor mount.
Yeah.
Joe said he's been doing that on his airplane for years, and he's never ever crushed a motor mount.
I started epoxying those tubes in when the hole got really close to the edge.
Yeah. So there's that.
So, Mike, the standoff is short enough that the blind nut can still go in.
Right. The blind nut actually fits because it's conical at the end. If you ever look at a blind nut, it's tapered a little bit.
Right.
And it'll fit right in the end of the brass tubing.
Okay.
And if you get lucky enough, the blind nut will actually flare the tube and lock it into the mount.
Yeah. Hey, does anybody? Where's Tree Town at? I just got a notification that all 4 Tree Town contest events for 2020 have been canceled. From Bill Calkin in Control Line Flying. Where's the Tree Town modelers at? Anybody know that site?
That Tree Town is in Chicago area.
Chicago. All right. Well, they've canceled every event for the whole rest of the season. If anybody,
I've got a building question before I go. You guys that build on glass, what glass tops do you use?
I have like a 3/8. I have a 3/8 tempered glass.
my glass table. Can you see it there?
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's my glass table. All right, and I bought that at Southern Preserve in Nashville. It's a deep discount warehouse where they sell odds and ends and whatever. It's off of Nolensville Road, basically by 100 Oaks. It's by 100 Oaks Mall off of I-65. And I went in there and they had these glass tabletops in all different sizes, and they probably had 200 of them in there. And I paid $4 for this glass tabletop.
No way.
No shit.
It's a discount liquidator place. It's all odds and ends. You never know what you're going to find when you go in there.
Is that tempered glass?
It is tempered glass.
Yeah. What thickness?
Well, it's
about a quarter, 3/8.
No, it's over an inch, man. It's over
shit.
an inch. It's over an inch thick.
Oh,
I should have
wow.
bought 4 of them. I should have bought 3 or 4 of them at that price.
I stopped in at Portland Glass on the way home from work and had them look it up. A sheet of 3/8 tempered glass was going to cost me $159.
Whew.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't know if I'm going to build on glass or not.
Well, the stuff from Portland Glass is probably American made. I'm sure this is straight out of China.
Hang on.
You know, I'm sure it's straight out of China. But I bought this right when we moved into the house 6 years ago because we bought a patio set from those guys. And I mean, they had tile, draperies, patio sets, building bricks, patio blocks, and, you know, cheap Chinese furniture and just all kinds of odds and ends and crazy stuff. And I walk down this one aisle and I just see all these different sizes and shapes of patio glass for patio replacement glass for patio tables. No actual tables or frameworks or anything. It was just glass. It was just replacement glass. And I looked at that and went, man, that'd be a great building board.
Yeah, because it ain't going to bend.
Yeah, over an inch. That's definitely flat.
Right.
So what was the name of it again?
I want to cut the stream, and you guys can continue on. It's 9:32 here. And let me just thank everybody for coming in the show, and thank you for the comments on the chat. And we had at one time, we had 15 watchers, so that's pretty good. Now we're down to 11. And it's been a very good show. Thank you guys very much.
Hey, Rusty, when you watch the rerun, hey, Rusty.
Yeah.
So I'm going to end the stream, and we can still